back the curtain of the NFL and provide perspective and depth on the biggest topics on and off the field.
No hot takes, just real football talk for real football fans. The NFL Report podcast every Monday and Thursday. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is live in the Ingalls studio, and we're heard everywhere you go. On the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel because today is a Threadbare Thursday, and subscribing to the channel is the only way that you get into the chat each and every afternoon. It is your time to throw out your questions, anything that you want answered today. Yep, I got to do that. Jeremy was messing with my computer yesterday. That's your fault.
You broke it. I fixed it. You forgot to turn it down. How is that my fault? I knew you were a Democrat. I swear I've known it for years.
Oh, excuse me. I'm also trying to get over the Caesar salad that tried to kill me right before we went on the air. Oh, it's a fun day here in the neighborhood.
You only had 3 hours to eat that salad. But yeah, 2 minutes before the camera turns on. That was the right time.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes we're procrastinators, and screw it. We'll do it live. It is the Sportsocracy, and we've got week 2 of the NFL starting tonight, Thursday Night Football. It's just a banger.
Oh yeah, if this was a date night with your wife, you ordered an appetizer, and this is stuffed mushrooms. They ain't got no mushrooms in them. It's just bread. Because Philadelphia is going to hurt Minnesota's feelings tonight.
Yeah, I believe so. Despite the fact that Kenny Gainwell, who was the number 1 running back for the Eagles last week, at least in the stat column, he is gone.
Yeah, let me make this as clear as I can. Tonight, I don't care if Kenny Chesney is playing running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be a whole lot to not many. And I don't care what Justin Jefferson says about, well, Darius Slay, I owe him one. Well, you owe him one because your quarterback, when you play in front of bright lights, turns into Baker Mayfield's understudy.
Yes.
We've read this book enough times. It's not going to go well.
James Bradbury, that is a big hit to the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. But, we just need Darius on the one guy.
Yes,
and then
that really revved up my idea that the one touchdown Minnesota scores tonight will probably be Jordan Addison. And that's about it. Big Birds in our YouTube chat said Kirk Cousins will be under pressure all night, especially from the interior. Oh. Yeah, because Garrett Bradbury, the guy that we continuously talk about, you're the only center on this team. You're really the only interior offensive lineman on this team that we feel good about. He's out too.
Oh, no.
Which means you get a backup trying to stop Jalen Carter and Fletcher.
That's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Tao, Slanderocracy, Vikings went out right.
Explain yourself, sir.
I don't know where my button is. How much you want for them? Whatever you want. Just shout it out. Charitable donation.
Name your price.
I'm in. You don't have to give me the money. Just donate it to charity. We're good. Because we're right here in the thick of Thursday Night Football, which is just a big grumper fest. Year after year after year. And yet, what do? We watch it.
Of course we do. We've been waiting all week for this. Ever since your heart was broken on Monday Night Football, Jeremy.
I don't want to talk about it.
We've been...
I have... update to that.
Okay.
I will officially be failing to watch my first 4 quarters of Jet football in 25 years.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to see Burnt Crusher Sunday night.
You're just going to tap out on the game.
I can't do it. I physically can't do it. I have tried to get in the right headspace to watch a Jet football game now for 4 days, and I can't do it. I keep seeing the Aaron Rodgers running out on the field with the American flag, and I can't even really explain the feeling. It's just this pit in the bottom of my stomach that's I can't. Amy and I are going down to Greenville. We're gonna hem up in a bar down there, watch the 1 o'clock games, or the end of the 1 o'clock games, beginning of the 4 o'clock games, and then I'm gonna go try to laugh. Because if I don't, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, you need it.
And so far, other than John Kennedy, nothing's made me laugh all week long. Now that made me laugh harder than probably anything that I've seen in the last. You have story time with a state senator. Yeah, I know what you're trying to do there, but you ought not have done that.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have. Eagles and the Vikings tonight. Yes, Stephen Tao, you're being asked to please expound on that. Vikings outright. I don't know what crimes you're doing, but you probably shouldn't do them at work.
100%. We're earlier now. It means you're probably working your job, and I mean Minnesota's just awful defensively. And you add that with Philadelphia, you went up 16-0 against New England, and you kind of went on cruise control. You really dominated them at the point of attack. You didn't allow them to run. You're telling me that they're not going to do that to Minnesota, who has Alexander Madison and Ty Chandler and Kenny Nwangwu?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. This is just set up to be an absolute evisceration.
And Eagles fans can look forward to, seeing Jalen Hurts. I heard a lot of talk, saw a lot of articles over the week about how Jalen Hurts didn't look great in his first game. The game was much closer last week than I guess anybody really expected it to be, 25-20 with the Patriots. But Jalen specifically has been taking some lumps in the Philadelphia media this week. This is your chance. This is your chance to shut everybody up. Anybody who's doubting you at this point of, oh, look, he's regressed after one game is ridiculous. But still, you know how Philadelphia Eagles fans are.
Well, it's one game against Bill Belichick with a quarterback. I mean, and look, I'm not being spicy here. Jalen Hurts is not Pat Mahomes. He's really good within the confines of the system. What does Bill Belichick do as well as any defensive mind that we've had in this league for the better part of the last 5 decades? Shut down exactly what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
He did that. It wasn't enough. And I'm going to be honest with you, looking at Philadelphia, I'm not sure this could have set up any worse for Minnesota, because you take in that New England game where the score was really not indicative of how I felt the game went, and I watched a good bit of it. You get the 10-day layoff now before you play the Buccaneers, and then you play the Commanders, and then you play the Rams, and then you play the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. Philadelphia knows that they can just distance themselves from the crowd in the NFC and then coast right into the playoffs. This team's good enough to do that. And it starts tonight. This is your shot to shut everybody up. I saw Big Birds in the comments asked, who exactly is going to defend Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown tonight? Me, Tank, Brian Hall, and Eddie Fox. That's pretty much what you have in that Viking secondary.
Brian Murphy and a Caleb Evans.
Byron Murphy, he can deal with somebody in the slot, but A.J. Brown's still a mismatch.
Behind that, I mean, the third corner for this team is Andrew Booth, the kid from Clemson that they drafted 2 or 3 years ago.
Who just hasn't been good. I don't think you're going to consistently be able to get home. And I'm curious if after this week people start to really see what I was talking about with Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
That this is a really one-dimensional offense. You just look at what happened last week. Kirk Cousins threw for 1 billion yards. Did it matter? No. Because I know exactly what you're doing. Take out the fact Baker Mayfield apparently figured out your defensive signals, which is still rattling around in my brain of how basic do those have to be for Baker Mayfield to have figured it out.
Right.
I didn't hit on that yesterday, but nobody ever confused him with a rocket surgeon. So it's not like this was Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. This is Baker Mayfield, a guy that struggled with 3 high the entire time he's been in this league. Figured out everything you were doing. And now I just think you're going into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, that's how I see this game as well, especially with Minnesota. Their offensive line didn't look good last week against the Tampa pressure. What do you think it's going to look like without Garrett Bradbury against the Philadelphia pressure?
Against the Philadelphia Eagles, who somehow wound up with quite possibly the best player in last year's draft. And in week 1, he showed why. In the preseason, he showed why. The only problem with him was character concerns. I said he wasn't Warren Sapp, and a lot of people thought I was throwing shade at the kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think he was arguably the greatest defensive tackle that ever played. He's still really, really good. And now he's just a rotational piece with Philadelphia. They can throw pieces at you all night long. There's just not much to this.
It's not going to go well at all. Going to the chat here on a Threadbare Thursday, we did have a question about Adam Salome wants to know if he should hang on to DeAndre Swift. Why would you bail on DeAndre Swift would be my question.
Because he barely played last week. And
But
he was terrible when he did.
But it's week 1. I mean, I don't care.
I mean,
this kid's an electric athlete who's going to be used in this system.
I mean, I'm not going to bail on it this week solely because I don't know what your other options are. So with no Kenny Gainwell, you got Boston Scott and Rashad Penny, who was a healthy scratch last week. Now, if he comes out tonight and somehow is as ineffective or not on the field, then I would say, yes, you could probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I don't
Now,
see a reason to bail on
You're
a
so
guy after a
unbelievably
week.
biased that
No, I'm not.
100% you are. DeAndre Swift, you have never been realistic about that ever in your entire life.
Okay.
He's a Georgia guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just admit your flaw here. You know I'm right. You've never said anything negative about a Georgia Bulldog that wasn't named Stetson Bennett. Who we're going to talk about that later, too. What exactly did you do here on the non-football injury list?
Yeah, I don't know. He got drunk and fell down or something.
That's the only thing I
strained
can
a
figure.
hip or I don't know.
Maybe he hit his life alert bracelet. I've fallen and I can't get up.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking DeAndre Swift is a good running back, right?
He's good at what he does. This matchup sets up really ideally for him. If I was playing DraftKings tonight, I think DeAndre Swift has a really good opportunity to be, I won't say a contrarian play, but somebody that not a lot of people are going to trust because he only played 19 snaps last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not telling you that that's where all of my exposure would go, but there is a possibility that he has a night tonight that gets him more back into the running back rotation. You got to understand, this is a weird offense. I said this when they traded for him at the draft. I don't know exactly how this is going to fit because I feel like they've cobbled together 4 running backs here that all add up to the guy that they could have just kept.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a lot of that last week of Kenny Gainwell's the only one they trust. Now with no him, you're going to get carry somewhere. Now my fear would be if it's Jalen Hurts, then now every other running back's irrelevant because I don't think there's enough work there to sustain any of them.
Right.
And if you can't run on Minnesota, you can't run on anybody.
Right. I mean, DeAndre is going to be he'll be the featured passing down back for this Philadelphia offense eventually. You don't know. I mean, he lives hurt. That's his biggest problem. And I attribute probably a lot of last week to that.
Andrew Ayers asked us in the YouTube chat, do we really think that Jefferson's going to be shut down? No, and I don't care. You could tell me Justin Jefferson has 13 catches for 150 yards tonight. I don't believe that's going to happen. But even let's say it did, what does anybody else do? All right, Addison hits one big one because he's going up against a corner that's not James Bradbury.
Right.
Do I care? Because every time they get the ball, they're just going to march down the field and run it down your throat. You don't have anybody that can deal with A.J. Brown. You don't have anybody that can deal with Devontae Smith.
Nope.
I don't see an advantage here. Gage Camplin asked final score prediction. What is yours? And yes, we're getting this out of the way early because there's not a lot to talk about with this game.
Final score prediction. I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles 31-6.
That was the exact number in my
Was it?
That was the exact number.
Because I don't know that you score a touchdown. If you do, okay, maybe I'll give you 13 at best. Score a touchdown, maybe you get close enough to kick a couple of field goals, but I mean, it's just going to be a bloodletting.
And now we've said all of these things because that is the only thing that makes sense with how this game goes, and somehow it's going to find a way to be 24-17. And the Eagles score late to win it because the NFL is drunk.
Well, because, the Philadelphia Eagles they are a team that has been known to do that from time to time. I mean, they had wasn't it Washington that ruined their perfect season?
Yes.
Weren't they like 15-0 or something like that? And Washington ended up beating them? Heard that from a lot of Washington fans, too. I think I've seen that in the chat a few times. Washington gave everybody the playbook on how to stop this team. Okay. We shall see. Here's the thing. Even with the game plan, even if they had, Baker Mayfield on their sidelines calling out what Philadelphia was going to do, I don't see hope for Minnesota in tonight's game.
I don't know.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It is a Threadbare Thursday. Anything you want talked about, get it into the YouTube chat. We roll on as we get ready for Week 2 in the NFL next.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick-and-mortar stores. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
Macy's one-day sale starts tomorrow with great deals of the day on fall updates, like 40% off outfits for the office that work off the clock too, and 40 to 60% off shoes, handbags, and accessories to finish your look. And get 25 to 40% off your favorite beauty, skincare, and fragrances. Plus, get free shipping with any online purchase of $25 or more at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, the conference season gets underway, and we've got a great matchup for you. The Irwin Warriors at the Inca Jets. Inca's coming off a bye week with a 2-1 record, looking to get things going again. The Warriors look to bounce back from a tough loss at West Henderson. Sports Tank Friday gets us going at 6. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. The best coverage of high school football is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
This is G. Degeroff, voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
I mean, technically it is a victory week, so I get to play that at least once.
Yeah, good for you.
The same team that lost to Tampa last week is now going to face the Eagles in prime time.
Yay!
With Kirk Cousins, nonetheless. Jeremy's Bangers for the night coming up at the end of this hour, so stay tuned for that. You want to make some money tonight, he'll have all the ways that you can win at BetUs.com.
We got our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
We fixed it. You got to plug it in. That's electronics. They won't do it for themselves.
Yeah.
Stone Sports Podcast. Welcome to the House of Reprehensibles.
Again, I feel like
possibly. I don't know. I get a list. I get a list every month, and it just
whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. We're glad to have you on board officially, even if that's the second or third time you've been official with us. Stone Sports Podcast has been around with us for a while. Other questions thrown into the chat here. We got a couple of running back questions. What are we doing with Najee Harris? Because, he's not good if you look at his per carry average. It's terrible, in fact.
It's pretty bleak.
Had a rough one last year, and then this past week did not look good again. Are we really worried about Najee Harris?
I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to be concerned with what it is you see from him week in, week out. The biggest drawback for me last week was he only had 6 carries.
Mm-hmm.
You add that in with targets, he only had 8 touches. That's a little unsettling for a guy that you used a first-round pick on. And then you go back and look at, do you know how long it's been since he's averaged more than 4 yards a carry?
Year and a half.
The last time he did it was November the 13th against the Saints. He had a 4.1 and a 4 flat, but both of those had long runs that really skewed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am getting to a point where I don't know that I don't know what's happened to him. I would love to say it's the line, except for the fact Jaylen Warren looks good when he touches the ball. I've said for a long time he's not big enough to hold up to a full workload. But, yeah, I'm getting to a point where you just can't really trust Najee Harris anymore.
Yeah.
I don't really trust anything with Pittsburgh at this point.
I don't know that
Sunday was bad.
I don't know that you've been able to trust Najee Harris for a long time. We just believe he's one of those guys that we believe it's coming at some point. We just need one more offensive lineman, right? To one more guy on that offensive line to open up some holes, and that's going to turn Najee loose. I think we made that argument all offseason long.
Well, then they add to the line, and San Francisco smokes them like a honey ham.
And part of me wants to say, well, is that not because it was San Francisco? Is that not because that defense is so good and they're schemed so well that they can limit that? Pittsburgh just wasn't ready to play. I don't know how long are you going to continue the excuses? That's what I'm asking myself.
Well, the line just grades horribly. You go back and watch the tape, it looked awful. Now, the NFL is a fun, cyclical sport. This week, the Pittsburgh Steelers, you play the Browns.
Yep.
And that's one of those that you feel like what you just saw from Cleveland, what you just saw from Pittsburgh, this should be an easy lean, right?
Yes.
What's the spread?
2 points.
2.5.
Okay.
Cleveland's a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Pittsburgh. And there's part of me that feels like it's just free candy to take Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
This is invariably when you get burned as a gambler. When something appears too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, I don't
how does
know
it
that
happen? I have no idea.
I don't know that I could do that because that defense is going to have to show up way more than they did last week to be able to pull that off against Cleveland. Although, was last week just a burn it game where nothing Cleveland did really says anything because it was just a bad week for Cincinnati, and then Cincinnati comes out and just goes on a tear. You never know how the story of the season's going to go along.
No, and that's one of the things that's why we do Overreaction Monday. you have to take what you see, but you also can't just throw every bit of the baby out with the bathwater. We were really high on Pittsburgh coming into this year. We saw 1 week against a team that you really believe in San Francisco. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. You think they're the best team in the NFL?
I did, and then I backed off of it as we got closer to the season, and then they came out and looked like the best team in the NFL, and I went, oh, well, maybe I was
this week wrong. You had them at 2 behind the Philadelphia Eagles.
They were my 1.
Okay, that's what I thought, but then you hedged on that when I asked it.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's where I'm headed with this. We believed in Pittsburgh. We said they were a 9, 10, 11 win team that was going to contend for the playoffs. They come out and are awful against what you value to be the best team in the league, and I've got them at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Does that just mean they're terrible?
No.
There's a reason that I use the line, Vegas turns like a cruise ship. There's also a reason that Vegas has gold fixtures, and it's really expensive to stay there because they're pretty good at this.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that line debut on Sunday, I instantaneously went, it's either going to stay exactly where it is or it's going to drop. And it dropped.
Yeah.
And now we're to 2.5. And I feel like that's daring you to take Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. There was also a question in the chat about Kareem Hunt. What is the deal with him? Is he taking the year off? Well, no. He just he hasn't found a contract yet. ESPN
he's found a contract,
reported,
just hasn't been what he wanted.
ESPN reported yesterday that that the Colts have been in contact once again with Kareem Hunt. I feel like this is the 3rd time they've gone down this road with him since the Jonathan Taylor injury and holdout situation.
Well, I mean, you can't be as bad running the ball as they were last week and then just go, nope, we're good with Deion Jackson and Evan Hull.
Mm-hmm.
We're fine. We're fine. It's all fine. I mean, the thing you have to remember about guys like Kareem Hunt, there's still a really large piece on the board that's out of sight, out of mind, and it's in Indianapolis. Until Jonathan Taylor goes somewhere, I don't feel like any of these guys are really apt to make a move.
Right.
I mean, give me a team that you think could really benefit from another running back.
Baltimore
Ravens. They're a perfect example. Why would I go sign Kareem Hunt when there's a great possibility that 3 weeks from now I can trade for Jonathan Taylor? I'm not going to have to pay him much. Okay, let's say I don't bring him back. Indianapolis knows they're not going to get what they want.
Mm-hmm. But would Baltimore pull a move like that?
It depends on what the price is.
This is a team that values the draft picks. They value their draft capital.
Yeah, they do, but they also trade them more often than you think. And they didn't pick until, let's say, they didn't have a first-round pick. They did, Zay Flowers. They didn't have a second-round pick. It was from the Roquan Smith deal.
Right.
I mean, would I be shocked if they did it? No. But why would I chase Kareem Hunt when I could have Jonathan Taylor?
That's a good point.
There's a huge difference between those two.
Absolutely.
And I think he's just kind of got the running back market at a stalemate because the big domino still hasn't fallen.
Right.
And as soon as it does, then everything else will fall into place.
The question there being, will it? Will that domino fall? Will they trade Jonathan Taylor? That's still a huge question to me.
I don't think it's a huge question. I think it's hey, he comes off that list week 4, and he'll probably be somewhere else by week 6. You inviting that distraction into your locker room? A team that's probably going to be 0-4, 1-3. You just signing up for, hey, let's bring that malcontent back in here with a rookie quarterback and a really young team. That's a grand idea.
Was Jim Irsay not that dumb?
I was about to say, if it was anybody but Jim Irsay, I would say there's no possibility that happens. But as soon as it came out of my mouth, I went, well, Jim Irsay could.
Is Jim Irsay not the guy who will just eat it? Just on basic principle.
Might be.
He strikes me as that kind of guy.
He very well could be.
I'm trying to prove a point here. You're not going to manipulate me. You're not going to, I run the show here, right? He basically told him that. I could see him doing that.
Our buddy Armchair Commentary, who will be with us this Sunday with our fantasy football live show that happens Sunday morning.
Yes, and we will be in the studio,
yes,
so you can hear him this time.
Yes, we will not have audio issues. We think we've got that corrected, but we want to test it a couple times before we try to do it live. Basically said Najee Harris is not the problem. Just give him a couple weeks. Don't abandon ship on that yet.
Yeah, that makes me feel better. See, you tell me things, and I'm like, okay. And then Armchair pops in, and I'm like, okay, now I feel better.
Wait a minute. So me that's been beating you in fantasy football leagues since, I don't know, the Obama administration, that's not good enough for you?
Nah.
You need to bring in the other guy that beat you in fantasy leagues.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
It's fine. It's fine.
I need 2 people to prove my stupidity to myself.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. All right. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll take a quick break, pay some bills, and when we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, looking good as we head through the next couple of days. Comfortable air in place. Not the sunniest of days today, but clouds around. And for now, we'll leave the rain risk out. Some of the guidance trying to suggest now maybe a shower, but I'm going to go optimistic. Clouds and some sun, 77. Tonight, 57. Tomorrow, sunny, 78. Tomorrow night in the mid-50s with some upper 40s in our cooler spots. Late Saturday, maybe a shower thunderstorm, high 80. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
I don't even recognize myself anymore.
I'm really worried about him. His addiction. I haven't seen him like this. Ever.
Hey, look, I never wanted to start using. I knew the drill, but I was out of options.
I just want to tell him it's not your fault. There are people out there who can help. People who have felt your pain. They know what you're going through.
This has to stop. I'm losing everything. Everyone.
You've been strong your whole life. You can do this, but you have to reach out for help.
It's time. I can do this.
Addiction is a disease, and diseases need treatment.
Call the treatment helpline now at 800-296-1325. 800-296-1325. That's 800-296-1325.
Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip per 2-pack, 2 dips per 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home when it's time to buy. Visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and we don't talk much NBA because honestly, there's no reason really talking about it in the off season unless there's a rule change or something, and that's what I want to talk about today. Because
you got to give the people what they want.
That's right.
You know, hockey talk. That's
it.
Yeah, all of you that messaged me yesterday, we laughed a lot.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nope. Weekdays 3 to 6. NBA Board of Governors.
I don't know what you're talking about.
NBA Board of Governors approving a new rule to try to combat load management. Did you see this, Jeremy?
I did.
My question is it going to matter? Is it going to mean anything? They already tried to do this back in 2020, and when they came up with a $100,000 fine if your team was sitting healthy players for nationally televised games. But then there were so many caveats to that of well, if the player's over 31 years old, then you won't have to pay a fine for sitting him. Or if he's if he's been within 5 days of an injury, then you won't have to play him for that game. Well, they've taken away all of those. And so now they're saying $100,000 fine on the first offense, and then it's $250,000 for a second violation, and then it goes to $1 million if you do it for each incident after that. And so here's the thing. If you got a healthy all-star or an all-NBA player from the last 3 years on your team, he has to play in the tournament games, the new in-season tournament crap that they came up with.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to play on nationally televised games throughout the season. If you have more than one on your team, one of them has to go at all times for these games. You cannot sit both of them at the same time. Much like, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic with the Dallas Mavericks last year when they were tanking for a better draft pick.
Which, by the way, was the right call.
It was the right call. They were in the hunt for the playoffs, and they had a primetime game, and they sat both their stars, and everybody flipped their lid. So they're trying to combat this because the NBA at least sees what is happening here. And why people like me have lost all interest is because night to night, I don't know that anybody actually worth watching is going to play. You don't tune in for a Los Angeles Lakers game to watch Christian Wood be the star.
Well, I mean, if you look at the NBA ratings, most of you aren't tuning in anyway. It's weird. There's two sports that really got on this load management kick. The NBA and Major League Baseball. And the more you've done it and the further down the rabbit hole you've gone, the less people have cared about your sport.
Because if you don't care, why
should I?
Exactly.
Yeah. You want me to tell you how to fix those two sports? It's really not that hard. All right, the NBA and Major League Baseball, I can fix your sport in but just a couple of sentences. Shorten, hold on. I use this phrase a lot, so I'm just going to change a couple words. Shorten the damn season! It's not rocket surgery. NBA, start your season Christmas Day. That's tip-off day. You have it basically to yourself. Although the NFL is starting to infringe on that as well. Mm-hmm. Start it there, end your season late July. Stop trying to compete with the NFL in anything ever. Major League Baseball, your season starts the day the Super Bowl ends. It ends the week before the NFL regular season starts. Huzzah! I fixed it for you. Why would I watch a sport if I'm not going to watch your finals?
Right.
And you both have that problem. Mm-hmm. The NBA, yours is always going to be during vacation season, which is less than ideal. You know who Joel Klatt is?
Yeah.
He is an analyst for Fox that also just so happened to at one time be a quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes, which means he's really good friends with who?
Deion Sanders.
Coach Prime! And he, yesterday on The Herd with Colin Cowherd, came out with what might possibly be the most no kidding statement I've ever heard in my life. He said he's not going to the NFL. He's not going to the NFL. I don't know if he's going to be at Colorado for sure. I can't say that, but he's not going to the NFL. Deion doesn't want to coach in the NFL. He's told me that point blank to my face. Well, I get that. I get what you're saying there. You got 2 games in for Colorado. Everything's hunky-dunky, and you're trying to let the good times roll. Nobody in the NFL would be interested in him. Because, see, everything Deion Sanders doesn't work in the NFL. This Johnny rah-rah, us against the world, nobody believes in us shtick, that doesn't work with professionals. It works phenomenally with college athletes. And I think Deion will be successful as long as he wants to do this. Now, I don't know that he's going to have the third or fourth best quarterback in the country. That just so happens to be his son. So we might be starting a little lofty, and it may not go this way forever. But this leads me into a question that I've wanted to ask for the better part of 2 weeks. I'm going to give you a number, and you tell me if I'm too high or too low.
Okay.
How long is Deion Sanders at Colorado? I'm going to set the over-under at 2.5 years. And the only reason I say that is because his son has 2 years of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't transferring again.
I'll go under.
Do you think he makes it through this year?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have said it that way. Do you think he is there week 1 of next year?
Yes. If his kid's still in school.
I tend to agree, but that's the caveat. That's the caveat. If Shedeur is the third quarterback in this class, and there's no doubt he goes in the top 10, I mean, every team in America is going to call. Mm-hmm. Anybody that has a vacancy is calling Deion Sanders. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
You have, in 2 weeks, you have answered every question that we could possibly have had about you.
He will be the head coach of the Florida Gators by week 1 next year if Shedeur Sanders goes pro.
I don't know that I agree with you. I said that one time, and the minute it came out of my mouth, a lot of Florida State boosters went, no, he would never go there.
Really?
No, the SEC might be alluring, but it wouldn't be Florida. There are too many. How do I put this delicately? Everybody thinks I'm just a Florida Gator hater. No, I know way too much about what happens behind closed doors in your building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to walk in and dictate to you what you do, that's not going to happen at Florida. And he's not going to sign up for that.
Right.
But I will tell you a school that was floated to me by somebody that has been historically very accurate at this.
Okay.
Texas A&M.
Ooh, the Jimbo Fisher job.
Because Jimbo has 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on a banana peel, and they have the money to axe him.
Yep.
Do you realize how long he's been there?
7 years?
This is your 6th.
6.
This is your 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not even sure if you're a good coach. You've done nothing at A&M that makes me feel hunky-dunky about you. But the minute somebody drew
but he recruited
that straight
well.
line for me, yeah, he recruited well. Guess what? Deion Sanders does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He does it better than Jimbo Fisher could ever imagine doing it.
Exactly, and imagine how much he could do with that kind of a purse.
That's the thing. And that was what the source told me. Is eventually Colorado's going to run out of money.
Mm-hmm.
I just straight up, you can't live the way they're going with the amount of money that's in that athletics department. I mean, you got kids that are camping out for tickets from 4:30 in the morning. The energy that's behind this right now, it's not going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to beat the smoke off Colorado State this week. If you go out and lose to Oregon and USC, don't be shocked if this wanes aggressively. Because that's what Colorado does. Historically, they have not supported this football program.
No.
And if you make it to the end of the year, you've done something really special.
Yeah.
But I think to do that, you're going to almost have to go 10-2 or better.
Absolutely.
And as soon as he sees that, don't be shocked if that eye starts looking elsewhere. All right, I got to find a fan base that is as behind me as this one was in the beginning.
This was the foot in the door job.
Yes.
This was.
That's the reason you got him.
I'm breaking into the Power 5 somewhere, and he tried to do it at several. Like he wanted the Florida State job. What was the other job he was up for?
Auburn.
The TCU job.
He interviewed with TCU. He really wanted Auburn, and they wouldn't interview him.
Right.
And that rubbed him really wrong.
So he found the first school that would go, Deion, you know what? You can come in here and you do whatever you want.
But this is easy to understand. All right. Deion Sanders is the 10. Colorado is the 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're not marrying this girl. All right. That's not happening. That's not in the cards. Enjoy this while it lasts.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be a special ride, and it's probably going to be the highest end experience that you ever have in the history of this program. All right, you can give me the split national title back in 90. That doesn't touch what you're doing right now. Just enjoy it while it lasts, and then relish it when it's gone.
Do you remember what I told you when he took the Jackson State job, and he was throwing out all the I'm doing this to build the HBCUs and all of that, and he did a great job for it. I'm not knocking him for doing it. But what I said the day he took that job, you just wait. As soon as he gets the call, As soon as he gets a chance to go to a bigger spot, because we all knew that was going to be successful. We all knew Deion was going to go in there. He was going to bring in names that never would have ever considered going to Jackson State, and they would roll over their competition. And that's exactly what they did, and he bolted. It wasn't about building the HBCUs for the long term. It was, I'm getting my shot.
Well,
and I'm bringing attention where I can now.
Well,
but
he
when
did
I'm
more
gone,
for HBCUs in 2
No doubt.
years than anybody else has
no
done.
doubt, because Eddie George came in and took over at Tennessee State. I think there have been a couple other.
Hugh Jackson's at Grambling.
There you go. I mean, it was great. It lifted the boats for all of those HBCU schools, and but it'll never be the same again. I don't know that you'll ever get to that level again.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree with you on that.
And then he goes to Colorado. This is the new Jackson State. I'm announcing my presence here with authority. I'm going to come in and show you I can do this at the big level. Sky's the limit. I'm taking the big job somewhere. Texas A&M makes a lot of sense.
I will also tell you this, since I don't really have to dig too deep into this. They're a 23.5-point favorite against Colorado State this weekend. Did you happen to hear what Jay Norvell said?
What did he say?
That he takes his hat and sunglasses off when he talks to adults because that's how he was raised. Yeah, 66-5. Just let me go ahead and tell you, Colorado's going to beat you until they get tired of it.
That's some.
You
big
should
talk.
really stop giving him bulletin board material when he's got one of the best quarterbacks in the country, arguably the best player in the country, and just a whole slew of talent.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention he is King Bulletin Board.
Yes.
Never in the sport has there ever been a bigger trash talker, right, than Deion Sanders. Nobody's better than Prime.
Yeah, Armchair said it. He threw the exact chat in the comment in the chat. When I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and glasses off. That's what my mother taught me, which was a direct shot at Deion.
Yeah, he's going to hurt your feelings.
As soon as I read that quote, I swear to you, I went directly to Bet Us and tripled what I already had on Colorado.
Yep. And that's good for Deion, too. I mean, he's got he now will have cornered the market on cowboy hats for head coaches. If he goes to Texas, that cowboy hat ain't disappearing.
Oh, no.
He might get a bigger one.
It's entirely possible.
He gets
Everything's bigger in Texas.
The 10-gallon hat to show up there at Texas A&M.
All right, somebody asked us something in the YouTube chat that steers me into something I wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
Taylor M., he was asking me directly, what are my thoughts on trading for Jameis Winston? Let me address this because it doesn't seem to be – nothing that Robert Saleh says seems to be helping. Nothing that anybody in the building says seems to be helping.
Okay, so he's talking about the Jets trading for Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Okay.
So Saleh has already come out and said this is Zach Wilson's job.
Yes.
Robert Griffin III this morning said there is no quarterback, whether it's Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, or himself, that would be more successful with the Jets than Zach Wilson. What he said. Yeah, exactly what he said. Whoever they bring in, and they're going to bring in another quarterback, whoever that is somebody that has to be comfortable sitting behind Zach Wilson and probably Tim Boyle as well. You're going to be the emergency three. It'll take you a month to learn this system to even a facsimile where you could get on the field. The Colin Kaepernick thing is hilarious, okay? Oh, he called and said he wanted to be the next Jets quarterback. Well, so did I. And guess what? They had the same reaction. You may want us. We do not want you. 7 years. Somehow that still comes up. The same guy that could not be bothered to actually go through the workout the NFL scheduled for him to get him back on the field is never playing in this league again. Thank you. I just needed the platitude to say that because I've been asked that question about 500 times. Now, for who the quarterback's going to be, it won't be somebody like Jameis Winston. Jameis has starter aspirations in this league still. It won't be Tom Brady. A, Tom hates the Jets. Mm-hmm. B, they just retired his jersey in New England. C, he seems to be really enjoying a lot of the things he's doing. D, did you see how thin he was at that Foxborough thing? He ain't anywhere near game shape.
No.
He's 30 pounds down at the minimum. It ain't Tom.
He's got a new girlfriend. He's got to show off for her.
Yeah, and he does good in life.
Yeah, he does.
But that's all I'm gonna say about that, and that's all I got to say about that.
He a dog.
In terms of who the name is, Silver said Jacoby Brissett in the chat. I don't think Washington's doing that. That one doesn't make sense to me. That's their backboard for Sam Howell. I've heard Sam Darnold. That doesn't make sense. If they still had Trey Lance, it might. They don't. I don't think they're riding with Brandon Allen as their backup to Brock Purdy, who's already been hurt once. The names that make sense to me, Colt McCoy, because you can get him for nothing. He's a longtime NFL veteran that helps to be in the room just to almost be like a coach on the sideline for Zach. There are not a ton of others. Carson Wentz, he has starter aspirations. He's not the guy I want in the meeting room with Zach Wilson. I don't want, and this one would make sense to a point, except he's got a gig that's better for him. Matt Ryan, I'd get it. He knows how to be a pro. I would like having him in the room with Zach, but I don't think he has any interest in this.
Right.
He's doing television, and you have no shot to start here. None. Zach Wilson's starting 16 games here, barring he gets hurt.
Yeah.
If he gets hurt, it will be Tim Boyle. If he gets hurt, it'll be Chris Streveler, because the four of them know this offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not – there's no salvaging the season. This is why Jet fans were so sick on Tuesday, because you know the only thing you have is the cherub. And if he can't do it, nobody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason we have camps. This is the reason we have preseason. Think back of guys that have mysteriously dropped in, whether it was trades, anything like that. Carson Palmer once got traded midseason. It ended terribly. The next year he was fine. He wasn't good trying to, in progress, learn the offense. Carson Wentz, I don't think he's better than Zach Wilson. He was 5 years ago, but this is where it's at. This is why we were all so miserable on Tuesday, because we're looking at this going, we're hedging our bets on something that I have already seen.
Yep.
I am on record as saying I don't think this is going to be as bad as most other people do. I still think the Jets are a 9-8, 10-7, 11-6 team. They're going to get their feelings hurt this week. All right? It should tell you everything I need to know that I have not missed a Jet game in 25 years. I am going to miss the fourth quarter of this game no matter what happens.
Yep. Scale of 1 to 10. Jets blowing out the the Jets blowing the Cowboys out. How possible is it?
Oh, of blowing them out?
That's what it says. This is from Taylor. He says, scale of 1 to 10. How possible is the Jets blowing the Cowboys out?
Let's see. There's a better chance that I ride a bird to work tomorrow. There is a better chance that I vote for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
There is a better chance that I sprout wings and fly around this stadium. Now, ask me that question in reverse. What is the chance the Cowboys blow out the Jets? 8 out of 10.
Phew.
The defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets defense is good, and I don't think they're going to beat them 41-0. There's also a great possibility the Jets don't cross the 50-yard line. Your biggest problem was you have two tackles that looked awful.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to throw Micah Parsons, who I can move all over this formation at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you've got a quarterback that holds on to the ball too long. Yep, that has all the makings of just a full-on, full-blown disaster.
Yep. You know what? I was going to wait till tomorrow to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and plant my flag today. Jets plus the 9.5.
And now I take all of those possibilities and multiply them because they just got kiss of death by Tank.
They did.
You're doubling down on Jets plus 7.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well,
we'll see how it works out for you.
Well, look, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Dallas Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott. We'll just put it at that. We'll talk about more of that
defense.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more coming up tomorrow. Jeremy's Bangers for the night, Thursday Night Football, are coming up next. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer. Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Link your Ingalls Advantage to your child's school, giving the advantage to those who really need it. That's our pledge to you.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The last thing you need on the way to the game is a flat tire. Ensure that you'll make the game on time with new tires from Black Mountain Tire Connection. With 22 years of experience serving the East Asheville area, Black Mountain Tire Connection offers all major tire brands. Black Mountain Tire Connection keeps you running with tire and auto service, including alignments, brakes, state inspections, oil changes, and minor repairs. Schedule service now at blackmountaintire.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
The coffee still closes on me. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Thursday night football. And this might be the easiest one I've ever seen in my life because we've already done this in prime time just but a year ago. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingalls Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Philadelphia Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite tonight. Over-unders 49. Well, here's the big question. Do you think Philadelphia scores 49 points by themselves tonight, yes or no? Because the answer might be yes, but for me, it's no. I'm going under 49. This is going to be a bloodletting. Minnesota is horror-awful defensively. And Kirk Cousins in primetime, trusting him's a lot like trusting John Kennedy to be your star witness at a congressional hearing. It's going to end funny, but it's probably not going to end well. Philadelphia's going to win this in a bloodletting. Give me the Eagles minus 6.5. I'll go under the 49. Kirk Cousins under 266.5 passing yards. He might not break 166. 266 is free money. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingalls. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, looking good as we head through the next couple of days. Comfortable air in place. Not the sunniest of days today, but clouds around. And for now, we'll leave the rain risk out. Some of the guidance trying to suggest now maybe a shower, but I'm going to go optimistic. Clouds with some sun, 77. Tonight, 57. Tomorrow, sunny, 78. Tomorrow night in the mid-50s with some upper 40s in our cooler spots. Late Saturday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 80. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. We are live in the Ingalls Studio, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And we're heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. You can join us in the chat. Threadbare Thursday is underway and will continue in just a few moments, but we always do this on a Thursday. It's Tar Heel Thursdays here in the Sportsocracy, as we have the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones Angel, joining us every Thursday at 1 o'clock now that we are now on the new schedule. I'm glad that we were able to make this fit into your busy schedule, Jones, because, I mean, the party never stops there at UNC Chapel Hill, does it?
Been it's a busy time of year, but a fun time of year, and more fun when you're winning, for sure. And Carolina, of course, 2-0 through 2 weeks, coming off that exciting victory in double overtime against App State last weekend, and hosting a Big Ten team, Minnesota, coming to town. First meeting between the Tar Heels and the Golden Gophers coming up this Saturday at 3:30. Carolina will return the trip up north next year, but so a fun time, Tank, and really looking forward to what should be a really interesting game coming up on Saturday.
Most definitely. Before we get into all of the footballing on the field, catch us up on where do we stand with the Tez Walker thing? There have barbs been thrown everywhere, from the administration to the NCAA, and then the NCAA back to the administration. Where we sit right now?
Well, last week, actually, it was right before you and I started talking. The NCAA, Carolina announced, had ultimately decided that it felt as though that their initial ruling that Tez Walker was ineligible for the year, they were going to hold up that decision despite multiple attempts by Carolina to appeal and go before different committees and things like that, and that prompted a very stern statement from Mac Brown. Bubba Cunningham, Carolina's AD, put out a pretty a pretty straightforward statement as well. Even the chancellor at Carolina, Kevin Guskiewicz, let his feelings known in a statement too. And then, of course, the NCAA responded earlier this week. Mac Brown responded to that, and so right now that's where we are. I think from the pure football perspective, Coach Brown said on Monday during his radio show, Tez Walker certainly not available this weekend and likely going to be unable to play for this season, but that it's not a completely finished story just yet. Tank, I've heard people say, oh, well, why don't you just play him? And there was even an article written this week by a national writer saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that's easy for someone else to say about this particular situation. I do think that Carolina would have to be very careful in that regard, because then you are blatantly going against a rule that has been, or a decision that has been set forth by the governing body that you are voluntarily a member of. And so that's certainly a tricky situation. I've heard, why can't you just didn't Carolina sue the NCAA? The way I understand it, and again, I preface this statement with that because this may not be 100% right. It is how I understand it, is that Carolina cannot actually sue the NCAA because Carolina is a member of the NCAA, and so you cannot sue the organization that you are voluntarily a member of. I mean, as we've heard many times, the schools, the members, make up the group, and so you can't actually sue the group that you are voluntarily making up and a part of. Now, could Tez Walker as an individual seek legal recourse? I think absolutely that's an option. The Board of Trustees had an emergency meeting earlier this week to discuss this exact topic, or discuss the options that Carolina has, that Tez Walker has. Mac Brown and Bubba Cunningham were invited to that meeting. There was no immediate action coming out of that meeting, but I do think the options were discussed, and the next steps of how to move forward were discussed as well. And so I don't think you've heard the last of this story, but I think from the pure football perspective, I would not expect to see Tez Walker, at least in the near future, on the field for the Tar Heels.
Okay, all right. With that out of the way, last week, it was another one of those way too close for comfort games with the Appalachian State Mountaineers. What did you see?
Well, a terrific game. I actually thought both teams really did some good things in that game, and both offenses in particular played really well. The Tar Heels at one point, Carolina had a couple play calls that I think they'd like to have back early in that game, a 4th and short and a 3rd and short around midfield that they didn't convert either one. But I think in total, the Tar Heel offense was pretty impressive. It is interesting in that Carolina is being impressive in a different way right now compared to the last few years. And I think some Tar Heel fans are having a tough time wrapping their mind around it, is that Carolina, was very effective running the football in that game. And as a team, rushed for more than 300 yards. Omarion Hampton had over 240 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game. He was ripping off 9 yards per carry. And yet I've had some Tar Heel fans say, well, why isn't Drake May throwing more? Well, Carolina has won both games and stated that it wanted to be a more physical running team, not exclusively, but they wanted to have that ability. They wanted to be more variable and diverse in how they were playing. I think they have done that very well through 2 weeks. I think other teams are aware that Drake May is good, and so they are doing all they can do to make sure he's not the one that beats you if you're playing Carolina. I think the Tar Heels felt like they got in a similar situation at the end of last year, and when Drake May did not have as great a performances down the stretch of the regular season last year, you saw the Tar Heel offense in total struggle. And so Carolina wanted to be more variable, wanted to be more diverse. I think they've done that. And Carolina is working through new players at the wide receiver position, and there has been this uncertainty with Tez Walker. And so all of those things combined, I think, have led to how Carolina has played offensively here early in the season, Tank. Now, at some point, if you're like App State, they played 2 high safeties a large majority of the game, didn't want Drake May to beat them down the field, so Carolina ran the ball. At some point, if Carolina continues to run the ball as effectively as it has, people are going to start creeping some of those safeties up, and that's when you can really hurt the opposition in the air. And so that's ultimately the goal for Carolina. But I thought App State played well. They had a good game plan, a lot of those stretched out run plays, and then basing some rollout and play action off of those. A lot of quick passing from App to not allow Carolina's pressure to get home. Tar Heels had 9 hurries, but no sacks in the game. And so it was a really good game plan and good execution by Appalachian State. The Tar Heels were able to make a few more plays at the end and eventually win the game. And so for Carolina, I know some fans were disappointed it wasn't a larger victory. For Carolina, I think they were happy to win the game against a good team and happy to be 2-0 and now ready to face another quality opponent in Minnesota.
What about Mac saying after the game he's had enough of this? I don't want to do this App State thing anymore.
Well, and I know that got a lot of publicity. I think a couple different things. Certainly these games create excitement. There were terrific crowds in Keenan and in Boone when the Tar Heels were there a season ago. They've been competitive games. Same can be said for when Carolina has played East Carolina in the past. Another good program, just the other direction. There have been some high-quality games between the two. There's always excitement and energy in those games. But Tank, I think it's also fair to say that it is a challenging situation for the Tar Heels to be in. Had the Tar Heels beaten, let's say, Minnesota 40-34 in double overtime, I don't think they drop in the rankings. I don't think you start this interview on the football side of things saying, well, Tar Heels squeaked by Appalachian last week. What'd you think? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there are some inherent difficulties in playing those types of games.
Yeah, by the way, there's nothing wrong with what Max said, in my opinion. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because I love this truth-telling Mac Brown. The guy that says, I don't want to do this.
There's no doubt at 72 years old, Mac Brown isn't worried about anything but telling the truth at this point. And then I'll say one final thing, and this is going to sound harsh, and I don't mean it that way. It's not Carolina's job to support and create excitement for the other schools in the state. That's not Carolina's job. The Tar Heels' job is to be the best football team that they can be. And so for them, that is crafting a schedule that challenges them, that makes their team as ready as it can be for conference play. And I think they have one of those schedules this year that does include Appalachian State. So I don't think that Carolina is out of the business of ever playing in-state schools again. In fact, they have a series with Charlotte coming up. They, of course, are going to play Duke and State every year. They're going to play Wake a bunch. That's just always going to happen. And so it is a nuanced conversation, I think, for sure. But I think the ultimate answer comes down to that. Carolina has to do what's best for Carolina, and that's how they'll approach it moving forward.
I think too many people took that the wrong way.
Right. I do think he was a little jokier about it than it came across in print. And even when he said, "Oh, it's time for East Carolina and State to give it a shot," well, he knew that that App was playing East Carolina this week. He knew that State has a series signed with Appalachian. He was saying it more that way compared to something along the lines of like, "Why are we doing this and no one else is?" I don't think that's what he meant at all.
Yeah, no, I do not either, and I think it was more of a frustration thing for him. Was damn, I'm glad that's over, and we don't have to deal with that because he was right. It is a no-win situation if you have a close game with them. For all the reasons that you said. This weekend, 2:30 airtime, 3:30 kickoff at Kenan Stadium. We got the Tar Heels and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Jones, you're going to be on the call. What have you learned about Minnesota in the run-up to this one?
Yeah, a couple of different things. Number one, this is, and I think you'll know what I mean when I say this, Tank. This is a Big Ten team, right? They're a big physical team. They are really big up front on the offensive line in particular. Their starters on the O-line are 6'6", 325, 6'5", 315, 6'5", 300, 6'7", 335, 6'7", 315. So there's some big boys up front. And this is a defensive-oriented team. I think that's the best part of Minnesota's team, at least and through the first couple weeks of this season. I think it is by far the best defensive unit that Carolina has faced so far this season. I think it's probably the best team in total, but certainly the best defensive unit that Carolina has seen to this point. And flip that around, I think this will be the offense, the best offense that Minnesota's seen so far this year with what Carolina is able to do. Offensively, it's been hard to honestly get a feel because in the first game, Minnesota played Nebraska and they threw it 44 times. Then last week they played Eastern Michigan and they ran it 56 times. So it's been so wildly different that it's just hard to know what they think they do best. And I'm not sure they know what they do best just yet. And so I will be interested and intrigued to see how Minnesota offensively approaches and tries to attack Carolina. My guess is the Tar Heels will have to do a little feeling out in that regard as well, just because they have seen such different stuff on tape. But I know this for sure. Their defense is legit. They're really good in the secondary. I think they're one of the best secondaries in the country. Already they have 4 interceptions through 2 games, and they are aggressive. They can hit, and they can cover. And so for Carolina, it will be a challenge to move the ball in the air against this group because they're really, really good.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the game. Jones, we appreciate you always taking out the time for us here in the Sportsocracy, and hopefully next week when we talk to you, we'll be talking about a win over a Big Ten team.
Thanks, Tank. Talk to you next week.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and just as we did last week, we're going to give you a chance to go to the game this weekend. I got a pair of tickets that I will give to whoever wants them. 225-4988. 225-4988. Call us now. You could be going to Chapel Hill this weekend to see the Tar Heels and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Again, airtime here on ESPN Asheville on Saturday will be 2:30. Kickoff set for 3:30. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's officially here. This week only. Enjoy 50% off your purchase during our Friends and Family event at Banana Republic Factory. Explore limited time savings on the latest elevated styles online or at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
It's officially here. This week only. Enjoy 50% off your purchase during our Friends and Family event at Banana Republic Factory. Explore limited time savings on the latest elevated styles online or at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
It is ESPN Asheville. You are in the Sportsocracy, and just listening to the Sportsocracy, you too could be a winner. You never know. Pretty much every home game for the Tar Heels this year, I'd imagine we're going to have tickets to be given away, so you'll want to tune in like John Grant did. Congratulations to John. Actually, he goes by Jack, so I apologize. Jack Grant, our winner of the tickets for this weekend's matchup. Tar Heels against the Golden Gophers at Keenan Stadium. Again, you will hear the game right here on ESPN Asheville. 2:30 airtime, 3:30 is the kickoff, and we sent Derek last week to the App State game. We got
that
John.
went pretty well.
Yeah,
that was I believe, a nice birthday present from the show to Derek.
Yeah, we got Jack all hooked up. It's really throwing me off, the whole John Jack thing. We got Jack going to this weekend's game, and who knows? You could be the next to have a little trip to Chapel Hill here on the Sportsocracy and ESPN Asheville. Now, yesterday during the hurricane update, something was said that we just both me and Jeremy's heads poked up over the computers as the Adam Gold Show was on yesterday. And Jeremy, I'm interested to see how you feel about this.
I have to say this. I know Adam. I love Adam. But he said something yesterday, and I felt blood come out of my ears.
So the assertion was that win-loss record is not a quarterback stat.
This is one of those things that I hear people say, and it just makes me unabashedly angry. And here's why. Name me a great quarterback in the NFL right now. Any quarterback. I didn't preface that I was going to ask you this.
I will go with Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is 26-13 as a quarterback. That's a .667 winning percentage. Name me another one.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is 75-20. That is a .789 winning percentage.
Josh Allen.
Oh, he wasn't going to ask for another one, but we'll go with another one. He is 56-29. That's a .659 winning percentage. Now, conversely, name me a bad quarterback in the NFL.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield is 33-39. That's a .458 winning percentage. 500 is dead even. Weird. The three good ones you named me are all at least 15 points over 500. The one bad one you told me was below 500. But surely that must just be an anomaly. Name me any other bad quarterback in the NFL.
Let's go with Desmond Ridder. We know that's not going to be good.
Desmond Ridder. I know he's on this list, but I'm not sure where. I may have to search for that. Oh, there he is. He's 3-2. You chose one that's don't have a whole lot of sample size there. Maybe one that's been around for a minute.
I don't know. Daniel Jones.
Oh, Daniel Jones. That's a fun one. He's 22-33-1.
Oh, fun.
You know what's funny? People say, win-loss record is not a quarterback stat, but none of them can ever give me a quarterback where the win-loss record is really misleading. The ones that people point to from time to time are Matthew Stafford because he's 94, 104-1. Yeah, he's a largely average quarterback minus one Super Bowl season. You've been in the league 15 years. You've been over 500 twice. So, I struggle to really go, Matthew Stafford's great. Or Deshaun Watson. He's still 33-30. Even being on dog water Houston Texan teams and catching those 6 weird starts last year with the Browns, he's still over 500. Win-loss record is a quarterback stat. It always has been, and it always will be. The same way, I'll just use hockey because Adam loves hockey. You ever notice that goaltenders, their win-loss record is attached to them? Do you know why? Because if you suck on ice, it's really hard for your team to be good enough to make up for how bad you are. Quarterback has that same problem. It's really hard if you're just awful for a team to be good enough to prop you up. And my favorite example of that is Cupid himself, one Mr. Zach Emmanuel Wilson.
Okay.
He's 8-14. You know what that means? You're not good at this because you've had a good defense, you've had a good running game, and it still hasn't propped you up. Now, a year from now, when you've started 16 games with Breece Hall and that defense, you never know. Do I think they're going to be 6 games over 500? Oh, good Lord, no. Because you'd have to go 12-5 to do that, and there's no possibility of that.
Right.
In the chat, they asked a few. Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is a fun one. He's 45-19. Kind of panders to what I've always said, that Tank is very dismissive of Jimmy Garoppolo.
I am.
That's weird. He's largely been good. Brock Purdy. He's 8-1. Yeah, he's 8-1.
But those are the outliers to me that go, yeah, I mean, it's still a quarterback stat. You still had to lead them to the wins. But the point here is that there can be good quarterbacks on bad teams. And I don't really buy into that so much.
A good quarterback on a I mean, if you
Matthew
have
Stafford
no weapons.
Matthew Stafford's the poster child for that.
Yeah, and even with that, and he was on some just genuinely god-awful Detroit Lion teams.
He's 10 games under 500.
Even with that, he's 10 games under 500.
Right.
Who is the definition of average? If you were building the average quarterback, you're not great, you're not awful. Who would it be?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is 64-80. 444. He is within 5 quarterbacks of 500. There are 4 active quarterbacks who are 500 for their career. Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor, Trey Lance, and Jordan Love. 2 of those have played 6 games combined. Yeah, because Tyrod Taylor and Teddy Bridgewater are average NFL quarterbacks. They're bad starters. They're high-end backups. Kirk Cousins, slightly above that. Because I would say he's an average starter, would be the greatest backup in the NFL, and was when he was with the Washington Commanders now.
Right.
It's funny. I hear people say that, but they never back that up with anything. Oh, it shouldn't be a quarterback stat. Okay, who is the one that this just completely wrongs? I heard somebody say Kyler Murray one time. Yeah, he's 7 games below 500. That's exactly what he is. The one active quarterback right now that this really kind of flies in the face of is Trevor Lawrence. And if you take away the Urban Meyer year, which I don't know that Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders, and Lawrence Taylor could have won under Urban Meyer.
As rookies, nonetheless.
You take that year away, he's 500.
And that will be changing very, very soon.
Oh, yeah. He will be aggressively over 500 when you give the sample size an opportunity to play out.
I've just always bucked at this theory, and you've said it before, of, franchises can ruin quarterbacks. And I'm not saying that's not true. It's just, you don't know that. You don't know that David Carr was ever going to be good. And he got his brains beat out by the Houston Texans, and you can blame it on that. You can blame the implosion of his career on that. But you don't know that he was always going to be this guy. That he was always just going to be terrible. I don't really buy that.
I've always said that the team that drafts you means way more than the team you end up playing for. Because the way you're developed as an NFL quarterback in those first 3 or 4 years, there's a reason that most of the ones that don't necessarily fit the narrative, and there's only a handful of those, they're all on the rookie deal. Because if you're a high-end prospect, the team you went to was awful. Well, you give it 6 or 7 years, and guess what? That team gets better. Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That team got better. Conversely, Mac Jones goes to the New England Patriots, and they stayed exactly the same. Why? Because he's an average quarterback that doesn't move the needle. They didn't get worse. They didn't get better. That's why this is a quarterback stat, and I've always said should be on your stat line. I think when your season stat line comes out, that should be at the end. What was your team's win-loss record in games you started?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to go down a rabbit hole and say if they play less than a half, it doesn't fall on them, okay. I can get down with that.
Yep.
A bad backup quarterback can come in and lose you a game, but even then, how many times is that going to happen over the course of your career? It's not enough to sway the number.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill is 80-69.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton is directly above 500. He's 83-81.
Yeah.
And it's weird. You tier these guys out. The elite guys are over 650. The average guys are between 450 and 650, and the bad ones are below that.
And shocker how the good quarterbacks are on good teams and the bad quarterbacks are on bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
It is a win-loss record.
No doubt.
It is a quarterback stat. Win-loss record is a quarterback stat. And why do I feel like the only people trying to say that it's not a quarterback stat are the ones that go,
teams.
Justin Fields is a great quarterback.
Justin Fields is not a great quarterback.
Stop it.
He's 5-21 as a starter.
Exactly. But I feel like those are the people that are making this argument. Are the ones that are still clinging to Justin Fields is not the problem. No,
he's the problem. However, I will say this. If you want a little fantasy football nugget for the week, you could do way worse than Justin Fields against the defense from his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did you see what Kirk Cousins did to them?
Mm-hmm.
And he's as mobile as I am. Wonder who Jeremy's playing in battle for the belt this week. I think we know one.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Coming up in the next hour, it'll be time for the most important message of the day, which is always what, Jeremy?
Don't do crimes!
Right. Coming up at the after this break, though, it's not the most important message you're going to hear today, but it is the biggest breaking news in human history.
Oh, good Lord.
It's going to be time to get weird when we come back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, looking good as we head through the next couple of days. Comfortable air in place. Not the sunniest of days today, but clouds around. And for now, we'll leave the rain risk out. Some of the guidance trying to suggest now maybe a shower, but I'm going to go optimistic. Clouds with some sun, 77. Tonight, 57. Tomorrow, sunny, 78. Tomorrow night in the mid-50s with some upper 40s in our cooler spots. Late Saturday, maybe a shower thunderstorm, high 80. For the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
The countdown is on to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The most massive live music event of the year.
Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 7th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Football's here. Switch to My Plan from Verizon and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and Unlimited Plus. Offer ends soon. Head to Verizon today. $449 value applies to NFL Sunday Ticket season 23-24 only. Additional terms and embargoes apply to NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. No refunds.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com. The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy with the biggest, the most jaw-dropping news in human history, Jeremy, and you're laughing at it, and I don't understand why.
I'm laughing at it because I have a funny feeling, because I've been around you all day, that I know what you're getting ready to say, and does it fall into this stratosphere?
It just might. Of course it does. You now have proof. If you don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know how you missed the story of the day. Yesterday, it was there was another UFO hearing in the Mexican Congress this time, and the presentation was made. They did the unveiling of two alien, quote unquote, alien corpses that they found buried in like some petrified phytoplankton in Mexico.
Phytoplankton.
Or in Peru, excuse me.
If you had phytoplankton on your Sportsocracy bingo card,
yeah,
you win. Now, if you're watching on the YouTube, I'm sharing the picture. That's what you gave me. All right, so that's your alien. It's an alien corpse.
It is.
Okay.
I don't know what else that could be.
Or what else could that be? Just me looking at it. That could have been made out of a Lego Fun Factory. That could also have been made by Play-Doh or by a smallish child at the beach with some sand.
It could have been. It could have been. Apparently, it was found in 2017 in Cusco, Peru. And apparently there has been some carbon dating on these specimens that they unveiled in front of the Mexican Congress during the UFO hearing that says that these are 1,800-year-old, basically mummified aliens. Because, I mean, what else? It's a humanoid-like character. They say that it has, like, DNA and, you know, it's got biological elements to it. But I don't know. There's MRIs of these things that show like one of them was carrying eggs when it died, and
so
some of them have.
Wait, what was that thing that you said that it has DNA elements to it? Say that again.
What?
You said it has DNA elements or something. I missed what you said.
It's got organic tissue, basically.
Yeah, so does every dress left in Bill Clinton's White House.
Oh,
make them laugh, make them laugh.
I don't know. It's just it. Look, this could be a complete hoax. The guy who brought it up, he has been tied to several alien hoaxes over the years.
Here's this is what people like me, and you say that I'm a doubter.
You are.
I don't in any way doubt that there might be some kind of critter out there. I don't know, and I don't care. But here's what I heard when you said that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, Mo! They found them an alien out in the desert. I'm terrified. Get all the canned goods and go down to the watershed. That's what I heard. That was that entire story in a nutshell.
Yeah. You can say it's a hoax. You can not believe if you want to.
Where's my bell? Of all time for me to not have a bell, there it is.
We will eventually find out. Of course, every actual reputable scientist has said in Mexico anyway, has said they have not let us look at these, so we don't know. And we can't confirm anything these guys are saying about these fossils.
Of
that
course
they
you
found.
can't, because they were made in a Play-Doh fun factory.
You don't know that.
I got a pretty good idea.
You don't know that. Some of them had implants in them, like pieces of them were made out of this.
The aliens had
supposedly.
implants? What are they, angling for a reality TV show
maybe,
deal like the Kardashians?
Maybe one of them broke a finger or something, and they've got like metal implants inside of them. And the weirdest part is the metal that they claim that it's from is called osmium. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
No, you haven't. It's the rarest metal on Earth. It can't be crushed. It's the hardest metal. It's the rarest metal. It's the most expensive metal. How did these 1,800-year-old mummies get implants made out of the rarest metal on Earth?
I don't know.
Exactly. You
I
don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't care. And if that picture is your evidence, this is a flimsy argument. All right. My story is about communism. Yeah, communism. It's a weird start, but a recent survey from Change Research via Teen Vogue, which there's 5 words I never thought I'd say in a sentence.
Teen Vogue.
They did a poll of 1,033 registered voters between the ages of 18 and 34. And what did they ask them? They asked a series of questions, and they asked them if these would be red flags in terms of dating someone. You know what the biggest red flag to the dudes was? They identify as a communist. 64% of men would be unlikely to date a woman that identified as a communist.
Good for you.
Things that bothered women pretty highly. They listened to Joe Rogan. That's 55%. Consider that to be a red flag. They have no hobbies. That's 66%. They refuse to see the Barbie movie. That's 53.
Oh, my gosh.
53% of women polled believe it's a red flag if they meet a man and he doesn't want to see the Barbie movie. I've said this many times in my life. The future of this race scares me to death. 18 to 34, that's just directly younger than me. Mm-hmm. And I'm reasonably sure that when God created me, he went, if you have to try to procreate with that generation, it's going to be a lonely existence, bruh.
Yep.
It's going to be a lonely existence, bruh. So I'm going to throw you right out in front of that so you can just sit back and watch them do dumb things. 20% of women, red flag if their man is into astrology. 41% of men say that, and you know what that just told me? 59% of men are liars.
Why?
Because if on a first date you look at it, if any woman looks at a man on a first date and goes, what's your astrological sign? In their head, they went, I wonder if there's a window I could crawl out of in here because I gotta go because I'm scared. Happened to me 4 times when I was single. 4 times that happened.
Yeah.
Then it literally over the first dinner, I had a woman that asked me my astrological sign, which I had to Google, by the way, because I didn't know, because I don't care. She then told me on a first date that we had been partners in a previous life.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I wound up 14 Jack and Cokes deep by the end of that dinner, and she had to drive me home. It wasn't one of my high water days. Real funny story I've told on stage, though.
Your life just continues to amaze me.
7% of women said they send green texts as a red flag. Do you know what that means?
No. What
that means they have an Android. So to 7% of women, one of the biggest red flags you can have is that you have an Android. Good Lord, stop worrying about aliens and worry about the low IQ humans we have here. Stop looking to the heavens for intelligent life. We barely have it on the planet we inhabit.
It makes me so glad I got a politically incorrect Gen X woman.
Yeah.
Somebody I can connect with. As this generation, I wouldn't make it far in a conversation.
I'm telling you, I'm 36 years old. I can already see by 50. I'm going to be that kid. You don't want to throw your ball in my yard. I'll throw it in the wood chipper. Just, don't you come to it. No. Go now get.
By that time, you'll probably be arrested for just yelling at the kid in the yard.
That was assault. By that time, I'll be long dead, and that's fine. And the way we're aging here, the planet Earth, just in my 36 years of existence, is aging like cheese. Okay, I was born into a Ronald Reagan America. Things were good. Capitalism was thriving. Now, 7% of women consider it a red flag if you have an Android. That's in 36 years. What do you think 80's going to look like, folks? What do you think 80's going to look like?
Yikes.
There's somebody listening to the radio right now going, I am very triggered by that the astrology sign thing because Pisces and Geminis don't mix. I made those two up. I don't know, and I don't care. The moon sign of Venus is in retrograde.
Kelvin Joyner has the question of the day. Was that the same girl that put cigarettes out on your couch?
No. Oddly enough, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That was that story I told there was an online dating experience. That didn't last long because my batting average was low. But I met some. I got 2 stand-up specials out of online dating, and I think I only went on like 6 dates.
Didn't you have a website for that, like to separate those people? Like, was there not like a 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, no blue fish kind of a website for you?
No.
Oh, that's right. We didn't care that much about people's political opinions.
See, I could care less about your political opinions. No,
but they do.
100%. Yeah, that's why. Basically, I'm a red flag. That's fine. I don't care. I'm married. And it's good. What did you just ask me? I had an answer to a question you asked me, and I forgot what it was.
Oh, was there not another website that you could have used to keep the
kooky
madookie away?
No, See, in my younger years, Tankerous, I was a dumb one, and I really enjoyed when pretty girls talked to me, and it led me to make some very bad and very stupid decisions. Thankfully, in my 30s, God gifted me Amy and said, you survived it. I don't know how you survived it, but you did.
Yeah.
And here you go. Happily ever after.
Jonathan Welsh wants to know if my wife has any sisters. No, my wife does not have any sisters.
Neither does mine. I get asked that a troubling amount on Twitter. I bet I've been asked that question 40 times on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. That's another good
place. To
which
you always answer, it'd be a lot cooler if she did.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Oh, my. Yeah, no. Stephen Tao says, green flag, Bengals fan. That way she knows she ain't getting a ring.
Oh man. There's so many mean things I could say right here, but I'm just going to choose to jingle out.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. This is why we call it your daily dose of dumbassery.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'll talk all the football, but we're also going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff.
I had another weird story as well.
Oh, let's go.
And this actually has a direct effect on my life.
Crank it up.
McDonald's is taking away the self-serve soda fountain.
Yes.
Why? Why are we doing this?
Because nobody goes in anymore.
I do.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
When was the last time you went into a McDonald's and served yourself?
Okay, this is 2023. My argument doesn't have to make any sense, and I don't have to have any facts to back it up.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure the last time you went into a McDonald's, I order everything on the app because I get free stuff.
On the app.
And it's a great way to live.
Yeah. Yeah, I just ordered 2 Jersey Mike sandwiches that were delivered to the studio for cheaper than I could have gotten them in the building. So, yeah, I'm playing chess, not checkers.
But I think the last time you went into a McDonald's was with me, and that was at least 2 years ago.
No, the last time I went into a McDonald's was at the beach, and I wanted an Arnold Palmy, and I had 4 little tiny bottles of
libations.
libations.
You had to go
with
get
me.
your sweet tea. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. But, yeah, they're getting rid of the
That's the only reason I'm even mad about it.
They're getting rid of that, I guess, to cost cut. You don't have to have two of them at that point because they got one in the kitchen and they got one out in the lobby.
How's it cost cutting if you already have it?
Well, look, maybe they can get all that stuff together, sell it, and then finally have enough money to fix the damn ice cream machines.
I knew where that was headed. God. I knew where that was headed long before you said it.
You just sell all those and fix the ice cream machines, so I'd no longer have to hear that again. Oh, I'm telling you, we're out of ice cream. This is what you do. This is the second most popular thing in your restaurant.
All right, we've gone totally off the rails now, but I have to tell you this. I saw a video on TikTok of how they make McFlurries in prison, and it was with, I think they used water and coffee creamer and Oreos, and you like beat it against the wall for 5 minutes with ice.
Mm-hmm.
You put ice in all of these things and beat it against the wall, and apparently it crystallizes into ice cream, and it's really, really good.
Huh.
I can't. I can't. No, I can't do that.
Why?
I don't like ice cream as it is. Your wish version of ice cream, I'll pass. Okay, and I don't like Oreos that much in the first place. The cookie's fine. It's the cream that no.
You're broken.
I am.
It's the best part of the cookie.
And this is why this works.
You eat the middle out of the cookie, you just throw the cookie away because that's just cardboard.
Hey, what's your astrological sign? I don't think we're compatible.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The 35th season of Downtown After 5, presented by Prestige Subaru, is this Friday. The last show of the season will have you moving to the sounds of the sensational Barnes Brothers. With special guest, the Alex Krug Combo. All the fun takes place on Lexington Avenue and features lots of local beers, ciders, and seltzers on tap, as well as great food trucks. Downtown After 5 is always free and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Join the Asheville Symphony on Saturday, September 23rd for a journey through the depths of emotion, from the shadows to the light, with Out of the Shadows, the opening concert of the Asheville Symphony's Masterwork series. You'll experience the passion, drama, and triumph between Beethoven's Leonore Overture 3 alongside acclaimed cellist Sterling Elliott as he joins the Asheville Symphony on Elgar's poignant cello concerto. Brahms Symphony No. 4 rounds out the program, taking listeners to new depths as they experience the power and beauty of orchestral music. Don't miss the first concert in Asheville Symphony's Masterwork series, Out of the Shadows. 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Saturday, September 23rd at the First Baptist Church of Asheville. Tickets are on sale now at ashevillesymphony.org, by phone at 828-254-7046, or in person at the Asheville Symphony box office at 27 College Place, Suite 100 in Asheville.
Trust Zero Res to get your ducks insanely clean. Mention ESPN Asheville to get $30 off your next cleaning. Use promo code AIR30 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, the conference season gets underway, and we've got a great matchup for you. The Irwin Warriors at the Inca Jets. Inca's coming off a bye week with a 2-1 record, looking to get things going again. The Warriors look to bounce back from a tough loss at West Henderson. Sports Tank Friday gets us going at 6. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. The best coverage of high school football is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We're back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, and I got to hit the button for this one. I know you don't care at all, but yeah.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Breaking news in Major League Baseball: Patrick Holt, Kevin Vick. We can celebrate, guys. The Boston Red Sox have officially fired Chaim Bloom after 4 seasons as their baseball executive. Thank you, Jesus. Now we can talk about football. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to get it out there because, that guy's been just, man, it's felt like a noose hanging around our necks for the last few years. We were asked in the chat, Jeremy, about Puka Nacua. We talked about him yesterday in the Daily Draft, about players that we believe in more after week 1 of the season. Max wants to know, do we think that Puka will do as good against the 49ers?
As good? No, but I still like him.
He'll still be able to make some plays, but it's not going to look that good. He won't go over 100 yards.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Hey, look, he's a very good receiver, and he's the best receiver on that team, and I'm not sure it's all that close.
What's the challenge of guarding a guy like that?
He's just incredibly talented. He's talented. He fits that scheme really, really well. He also asked about Tutu Atwell. Now, him, I do not believe in as much. I think he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say week 1 was probably his high water mark for the year.
Okay.
So I do believe in Puka. I do believe in Kyron Williams. I don't believe in Tutu.
All right. Kyron Williams, you think he's the go-to guy in that backfield now?
Well, I mean, it can't be Cam Akers because he's awful. So, you can only average 4 feet per carry for so long.
Mm-hmm.
See, when a foot is a third of a yard, and 4 yards per carry is good but not great, and you average 4 feet per carry, that means you have a great future working at the Home Depot.
Yeah.
Or selling insurance for Allstate. All very good jobs. Nobody has a problem with that. Just don't necessarily want you on my fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
Or my NFL team.
Yep.
Zach Wilson, I'm looking right at you, buddy. Right here. Also would like to know why his face got so fat all of a sudden. Did you notice that?
I did not notice
He all of a sudden, I always called him the cherub because he always had kind of a Cupid look to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he should be shooting bow and arrows at people to make them fall in love.
Right.
But now his cheekbones are just super round and his face looks like he's been eating Domino's pizza nonstop for the last 2 years.
Oh, he's been eating. This ain't pizza. You're in the Sportsocracy.
ESPN. You call him. Don't let me in that. I didn't do that.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is a Threadbare Thursday. We got 1 hour of the program left to go. You want to get your topics talked about, get them into the YouTube chat, thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. That is your ticket into the chat each and every afternoon. Also, go to the YouTube description, find the links for the battle for the belt.
You still get in. And you're not even really at a disadvantage. You only have 1 week that you got a 0. But we're dropping your 4 lowest scores. So you can get in right now and still be Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Play DFS with us. Proceeds from the Battle for the Belt going to Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, looking good as we head through the next couple of days. Comfortable air in place. Not the sunniest of days today, but clouds around. And for now, we'll leave the rain risk out. Some of the guidance trying to suggest now maybe a shower, but I'm going to go optimistic. Clouds with some sun, 77. Tonight, 57. Tomorrow, sunny, 78. Tomorrow night in the mid-50s with some upper 40s in our cooler spots. Late Saturday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 80. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This is Anish Shroff. Join me, Jake Delhomme, Luke Kuechly, and Sharon Thorsland Monday night as the Panthers host the New Orleans Saints. It's Carolina's home opener. It's Bryce Young's first game in front of the home crowd. Pre-game coverage at 6, kick at 7:15 on the Carolina Panthers radio network.
Panther football live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Are you ready?
See Foo Fighters, Kelly Clarkson, Tim McGraw, and many more. Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
Western Carolina Orthopedic Specialist is a proud sponsor of Tuscola football, and we know your health means everything, so it's important to get the care you need when you're in pain. If you suffer with knee, hip, shoulder, or other joint pain, Western Carolina Orthopedic Specialist can connect you with a healthcare provider who offers treatments and solutions. Don't make your health wait. Visit us at westerncarolinaortho.com or call 828-452-4131. We get you back in motion.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. And you can watch us live in the Ingalls studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Chats are always important on Thursdays because this is our Threadbare Thursday, where we just let you kind of guide wherever the show's going to go. A certain topic you want to hear about, you want to ask fantasy questions, you got a certain topic that you've just been burning on all week long, your chance to get it in on the program through the chat. As we mentioned at the end of the last hour, Battle for the Belt, you want to get in on that as soon as possible. We have a lot of fun each and every week, picking our teams, talking smack to each other, all that kind of stuff. The most important part is you want to get in on this so you can keep Jeremy Green from collecting one of these belts.
Oh, yeah, because I'll walk around like Roman Reigns and call myself the tribal chief for the next 365 days.
Yes. We have two belts on the line this year, two separate DFS contests. The standard contest, which was won by Michael Meadows last year, Beer City's best fantasy football player, who hails from Spartanburg. So we need to take that back from him this year. And then, he doesn't. We're not going to take it back. We're just going to take the title.
He gets to keep the belt. He gets to have a new one.
You get to keep the belt if you win this year as well, but we got one on the line in the standard contest as well as the Eliminator Challenge, which kind of ups the game a little bit. You can only use a player 3 times throughout the season. All the proceeds from the Battle for the Belt going to Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. It's a charity near and dear to our hearts. The toy drive is going to be coming up real soon. First week of December, I think it is, as it usually is, and that is right around the corner. So we want to be able to get as many people involved in this as we can to up the donation this year to Eblen Charities. Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Battle for the belt. Get in on it now, thesportsocracy.com.
All right, we had two things in the chat that I wanted to mention before we do the daily draft.
Okay.
I threw out, does anybody have a daily draft topic? But so far, nobody's beaten the one that I have in my head. John DeLon, Texas A&M fires Jimbo at the end of the year and hires Mike Elko to replace him.
That's not bad.
I believe the two finalists for that job would be Mike Elko and Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing is, trust me, what you said makes all the sense in the world because Mike Elko's a great coach. I also don't know that he's going to use Duke as a stepping stone job. I've always thought that he was just the read I get on him because we are pretty close to Duke. He doesn't seem like one of those that's going to jump around to me. I know Texas A&M's probably the dream job for him, but if he wins 10 games with Duke, and that's totally on the table.
Yes.
I'm not sure that he would jump. He might be the first call. Deion might be the first call, but I think that would be the two.
You'd be dumb not to.
He also said he doesn't think Miami is that much better. It's just Texas A&M has fallen off a cliff.
Right. I mean, I guess Mike Elko, is he the kind of coach that just wants to be safe? He wants to stay and build a program at Duke and
It's
win
not even
10 games a year, and then maybe he's got job security forever. I just can't see too many coaches doing that.
Not everybody wants to move every 2 years.
I get it.
And I know that might be the final move, but you got to understand there are some really loyal guys in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
That Duke gave me my first chance, and I'm not just going to leave them high and dry because they're probably not going to be able to get a coach like him to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
And that has always been kind of a read I got on him.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong.
I just feel like
I think that would be the two calls. And I do think Jimbo Fisher is going to be elemento fired.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you get so few chances to make that leap that when the chance comes along, you got to take it if you're a guy like Mike Elko.
I don't think he's going to have – you win 10 games at Duke 2 years in a row, you're not – you don't have to do anything.
Duke's a stepping stone.
Because there's only been two guys that have ever done that, if he does. Him and the old ball coach. Well, 5-11, not too good.
Right.
And that's he can do anything he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But so he wouldn't have to jump, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is to me, though, a stepping stone job.
And then Max in our YouTube chat asked us about the Packers. Christian Watson didn't practice today. Aaron Jones didn't practice today. Hard to trust Jalen Reed and Musgrave. I really, really like the two rookies that you just mentioned. The other thing is they play the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much I would have trusted Christian Watson even if he played. Everything I hear is Aaron Jones is going to play. Christian Watson won't. Aaron Jones will. And that's one of the only games I haven't picked. I don't even have a pick on that game yet because I don't know. I need these last 24 hours before you have to make picks tomorrow.
Yep.
To figure out which side I'm going to lean on. But if they don't play, I would trust Musgrave. I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, does Jordan Love fall into the same trap that Bryce Young did? Of you don't have a deep threat with no Christian Watson that really worries me. So Jesse Bates can just manipulate you, and then he has a second big game in a row, and then the Falcons are 2-0.
Yep.
So I don't think that I would have an aversion to trusting them if there's no Aaron Jones, no Christian Watson. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Those were two guys I loved coming into the draft, and they did nothing in week one to make me think that they weren't fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Romeo Doubs as well.
I do like the Packers this week in that game.
I don't know if I do. I just keep staring at it.
Just not sure what to feel.
And John DeLon commented on what we had said about Texas A&M. He said, Elko isn't going to turn down the pay raise that the Aggies will offer him. It's like Jerry Seinfeld said, people don't turn down money. It's what separates us from the animals.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Because how much do you think how much do you think they're paying him at Duke? And how much more do you think they would give him at Texas A&M if Texas A&M thought?
Well, Texas A&M has a limitless pocketbook, but from what I've been told, Duke will do anything it has to keep him. They've wanted to be competitive in football for a long time, and they have the resources to do so. They don't have Texas A&M money, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But
they do have a lot.
They have a lot.
They got a lot. The Methodists, they got a lot of money.
All right, so nobody came up with a better daily draft question than the one that I have.
Although kudos to Patrick Holt for continuing to just, I mean, he loves talking about food.
Yeah, he only wants us to talk about food things, which is it's fine. I just drilled a sandwich in the break.
We'll do the next Foodocracy draft maybe, when we get closer to Halloween, we'll do the candy one. How about that? Because he wanted us to do best candies. And we all know that's number one, Smarties. And
stop. Yeah. What is your 2? Candy corn
Candy
and
corn's
circus
number
peanuts?
2. Absolutely.
You serial killer?
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
Licorice jelly beans.
Oh, my. Stop talking.
Charleston Chews.
You just said every bad candy there is.
Oh, and Bit of Honeys. Yeah.
You make my brain hurt. All right, I've been sitting on this one for a few days, but I wasn't prepared to talk about it because it has to do with my team.
Okay.
I want to draft the most embarrassing, sad, awful moments in NFL history. But there's a catch. You get 31 teams, and I only get the Jets. Because I actually think I can beat you in a daily draft.
Oh, my gosh.
With just moments from the New York Jets.
Most embarrassing,
awful, all of the things. We're not talking about tragic things. Just, oh my God, how do you deal with this as a fan of this team? Embarrassing, however you want to quantify that.
I mean, are we going like on the field,
Yes.
off the field?
No, on the field. This is not somebody got a DUI. This is not any of that.
Okay.
This is something happened on the field, and you just go, what just happened?
Okay, well, the first one that comes to my mind, apologies, Carolina Panthers fans, but it's John Casey kicking the kickoff out of bounds during the
That's your
Super Bowl.
one?
Yeah. It's the first one that came to my head. I mean, I appreciate you giving me some time to really think about this.
I kept 3 days in a row. We've wound up with a topic that made more sense for that day. Plus, I didn't want to cry on air. Okay,
I guess
yours wouldn't have been in my top 20, but all right. Butt fumble, Aaron Rodgers. Mic drop, bye. And I ain't even close to done yet.
Mm-hmm.
Butt fumble was, I genuinely thought that would be the worst day of my entire life. For those of you that are new to this program or have never heard me tell this story, the butt fumble happened on Thanksgiving night.
Mm-hmm.
I did all the family things. Children went on to do the rest of their family things. I went back home to watch the Jets game on Thanksgiving. I had just had my roof redone. Well, apparently, the magnet guy wasn't paying great attention, and I stepped on a roofing nail that went through my foot. Same foot that I had broken, but merely 2 years before. So I spent that game in the ER, in a wheelchair, watching that game behind a prison television behind a gate. The first play I saw in the ER was the butt fumble. First one. Got all the checked in, all the things. First play I saw, butt fumble. I never thought anything could make me feel like that again. Until my second choice, which was Aaron Rodgers, all the pomp and circumstance, and then just there it went. There's football season lasted 4 plays. It's like summertime in Alaska. Oh, this is going to be the best summer ever. Runs to beach. Yay! Oh, snowfalls. Bye. Oh, it gutted me to even say that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even close to done yet. I'm not even close to done yet.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. Other embarrassing moments that have happened on the field.
This could be hires. This could be all kinds of things.
Oh, I thought you were talking about specifically in games.
No, it doesn't have to be in game.
Oh.
I'm just talking like worst moments in the history of a franchise. There was a lot of argument about, well, the Lions have had it worse than the Jets. Oh, have you? Have you really? Have you ever been Super Bowl favorites twice and had your quarterback play 4 plays combined?
No, they've never been relevant enough to be Super Bowl champions.
That's my point.
Or Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, you had Barry Sanders, you had Calvin Johnson. That was all hunky-dunky. I got it. Cleveland Browns, you're in the ballpark because you had the 80s. And then your team moved away, and then they came back, and it's almost like the curse followed you. You, I will listen to. Lions fans, I'll listen to you too. I don't think you're quite there with me yet.
Mm-hmm. Leon Lett. That was one.
Leon Lett's a good one.
That was a big one. Leon Lett returning or trying to advance the ball on the and then fumbling it, getting caught. Who'd he get caught by? Was it? Was it Don Beebe? Yeah, Don Beebe catches up to him as he's running in for the touchdown. That was a really embarrassing moment. I mean, hell, I would just most embarrassing moments. Does OJ count?
No,
that was a bad one.
Well, he had also been retired for 30 years, so or 25.
Right. Deflategate. How do you do that?
Deflategate's a bad one.
Deflategate is a very bad one. The Indianapolis Colts in that playoff game. I don't remember who it was, but the defender that picked him off and picked up the ball and went, there's something wrong with this thing. How do you get caught doing that?
All right, so you're going Deflategate.
And Leon Lett.
Yeah. Okay. How do I phrase this appropriately? Adam Gase is a great fit, and with the 9th pick, the New York Jets select Kyle Brady ahead of Warren Sapp. You're getting annihilated in this, and it's not even close up until this point. And I still got 2 more left that he can't touch. I don't even have to elaborate on mine because you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's 4 of the most unbelievably god-awful things that ever happened in the NFL, and they all happened to one team.
Yep.
And I haven't even mentioned Vinny Testaverde yet. It's coming, though.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
That's going to be my UDFA.
Oh, I got one for my team.
Mm-hmm.
Drafting Bo Jackson.
How is that embarrassing?
Because you drafted Bo Jackson, and even though you knew he was not going to play for you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. You spent the top pick of the draft on Bo Jackson, who just went, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm going to go play baseball. All right, that's a good point.
By the way, all these people talking about Caleb Williams. I get it. If he wants to go down that path, more power to him. I doubt he's going to. But he said his dad, I guess, came out and said that he would not go pro next year if he thought he was going to be drafted by the Arizona Cardinals.
He didn't say the team, just to be clear.
I'm gonna bet you don't.
He didn't say Arizona.
He didn't say Arizona specifically.
If it wasn't the right situation. No, we all knew what he was saying.
You're
don't get
not.
me wrong.
I mean, but bet you don't.
Don't be shocked if he does. It's happened before. Which is ironically enough what my next pick's going to be. But you go ahead. You just go ahead.
You just go right ahead. Let's see. Last one. I don't know. I guess it's got to be the tuck rule, probably.
What was embarrassing about that? That was the rule.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Forward pass. Whew. Yeah. This was as bad as me in some food drafts. With Peyton Manning goes back to Tennessee to avoid being a New York Jet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the number 1 pick and you trade it, and guess who that pick was? Orlando Pace! Vinny Testaverde blows out his Achilles in the painted end zone as you are the number 1 Super Bowl favorite in the league. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, you fired Pete Carroll to hire Rich Kotite. Mic drop, bye. Let's go.
So really, you just did this to prove that you are a fan of the worst franchise in the history of the NFL.
Yes, I did, because it was way quicker to do this than it was to answer every comment of, well, no, okay? We missed out on the best quarterback that's ever played, not named Tom Brady. We got a pick when he wouldn't show up, traded probably the best left tackle of all time. You've been a Super Bowl favorite 2 times, and you got 4 plays of happiness out of it. You fired a Super Bowl champion for Rich freaking Kotite, and you hired Adam Gase. Do not mess with me, okay? I got 30 years of experience in this. This is bad. It ain't the worst that's happened. That's sad.
Nobody knows pain like a New York Jets fan.
Nobody has a reason to drink like the New York Jets.
You just wear it proudly, don't you?
I'm literally doing a 7-day journal of Jets fan and their reaction to this Aaron Rodgers thing. I'll bet you that one appears on TikTok before this day's over.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy.
I will be taking the number 1 pick on where to go tomorrow because I just Southern missed you. And I may possibly be having a heart attack. I'm not sure, but my blood pressure got real high right there.
We're going to have to take a quick break here. I'm going to check his vitals and make sure he doesn't need one of my pills.
I think I got the angina.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
orangepeel.net. Don't miss Goo Goo Dolls live September 26th at Rabbit.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, the conference season gets underway, and we've got a great matchup for you. The Irwin Warriors at the Inca Jets. Inca's coming off a bye week with a 2-1 record, looking to get things going again. The Warriors look to bounce back from a tough loss at West Henderson. Sports Tank Friday gets us going at 6. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. The best coverage of high school football is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Who we gotta cheer for on Sundays now?
You're a jerk. I totally forgot Brett Favre sending nudie pictures to Jen Sturger, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's my third undrafted free agent.
Yeah. Did you mention the Trevor Lawrence thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you beat the Rams in a meaningless game when they were good and you were not, which kept you from Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Which is why you're in this whole situation in the first place.
You'd have ruined
I'm
him.
in a glass case of emotion.
You'd have ruined him, too.
Really?
Trevor? Maybe.
The way they've drafted since that draft, you think we'd have ruined him too? Really? Oh, yeah. He would have hated throwing to Garrett Wilson.
Well, if he had to
handing
play
off to Breece Hall.
If he'd had to play at MetLife Stadium, he may not have survived the first season.
Look, he's playing in the Little Mullet down in Jacksonville. I think he'd be fine.
Rather play there. The stadium's not going to try to kill me down there.
Oh,
yours. Jeez. How many knees and Achilles and ankles has that stadium claimed?
Well, the sad thing is that's new grass too.
Oh yeah, they just They just changed it out to a new turf. Well, that turf sucks too. Let's stop it with that.
I've just heard Sarah McLachlan singing in the back of my head for the last 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I will remember you. Will you remember me?
Oh, yeah.
Don't let your life pass you. I'm going to go
Good
cry
for
now.
you.
I'm going to go cry now.
Jeremy's already welling up with tears over
Shut
here.
up, man. I might have spent a night with a framed picture of Aaron Rodgers and a good cry. It helps us all from time to time.
Yeah. B. Malik says the Raiders are definitely competitive with the Jets in that category.
Oh, stop. You've been to a Super Bowl in my lifetime. You've won Super Bowls in my lifetime. Not quite. Close.
Mm-hmm. He also says that between the Jets and the Giants, about 25-plus injuries at MetLife.
Yeah, it's not a fun place to play. Can we just go to grass? Hey, Woody, take some of that baby powder money and let's get that worked out, shall we?
I don't know. Can y'all retrofit the stadium to have like the retractable field and all that? Is that something in the cards here?
Ask me in a year when I care again. I'm not there. Okay?
He's Seacrest out.
I don't have it in me. I really don't.
He's skipping a Jets game.
I'm not skipping the game.
Yeah.
I'm watching the first half of the game and then going to see our buddy Bert Kreischer.
How you going to deal with that when that's a one-score game? You ain't got no faith.
Oh, how am I going to deal with that? I'm going to look at Amy and go, hey, I bet Zach Wilson throws 2 picks in the second half. You want to order another margarita or you want to just go now? That's how I'm going to deal with that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you do pull for the worst franchise in football.
Oh yeah, because I chose to love them. You know what? When I was 6 years old, I looked at all the teams in the NFL and I went, which one of you will just rip my heart out of my body every year for 30 years and just flick it? That's what I did. That's how that went.
You did. I have a big gripe about that.
I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Family meetings, don't you?
What am I supposed to do?
Why did you do this to me, Dad?
Hey,
I've been there.
Dad got Namath. Okay, you know what I got? Mark Sanchez.
I used to be there. I did the same thing to my dad when I was growing up. It was like, why are we Buccaneers fans? Why?
And now I'm too invested. I mean, I leave now to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. I guarantee it.
Right.
And maybe I'm the curse.
We hadn't won that Super Bowl in 2002. I guarantee you I would not be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan today. I just couldn't handle it.
Oh, I mean, I can't handle it. My life expectancy is no better than 45. And that's just because of how I live. You add the Jets onto it, and I'm probably flying out of here sometime next week.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is the Threadbare Thursday on ESPN Asheville. Coming up tomorrow. If today's Threadbare Thursday, then tomorrow has to be
Football Friday.
And we love alliteration around here.
No, you do, and you keep naming things, and I'm too lazy to change it.
Yes.
And you won't let me use swear words, so Friday is kind of stuck being Football Friday.
Well, I mean, we can't use swear words. You know that. It's the whole FCC thing.
It'd be good if you had a quicker trigger button finger. I don't trust you to censor me in live time. So
which one of them buttons you think does that?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know what you don't know what I do. I don't know what you do. It's the reason this works. One of us disappears, the whole show goes to kaput.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna have, of course, the full slate of bangers. 3 different sets of bangers. We'll have.
And you talk about. You thought last week was tough. This is a college football slate that I just look at and go, "Whoa, buddy!"
I know they're heading up to Buffalo, but will we have the Chief with us tomorrow?
Yes,
for,
he will be here. He
Awesome.
will be here tomorrow.
Awesome. Jeremy will get to take his victory lap and winning week 1 in Beat the Chief. Because, I mean, at least he gets to celebrate something.
Who keeps turning that light down? Are we having like glow stick raves in here at night or something?
Oh, no. That's on me. When I come in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm not interested in full-blown light.
Well, I'm not interested in the epileptic seizure that leads to. So if you can stop doing that, that'd be awesome.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
We've had lights flickering in here the entire show, and I just realized it when, the dots went away from in front of my eyes.
Again, you want to get in on the battle for the belt, and it's coming up quick on us here. We're dropped the 4 low scores for the season when we calculate the final standings. DFS each and every week with us here in the Sportsocracy. All of the links to the contest are on the YouTube description. They're also on the front page of the website, thesportsocracy.com. Week 1, we already had, 6 qualifiers for the postseason?
Yes.
The 3 highest scores from each and every week automatically get bids into the championship rounds, so to speak, and the battle for the belt. 2 different contests to get into, 2 belts on the line, and, of course, proceeds going to Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, looking good as we head through the next couple of days. Comfortable air in place. Not the sunniest of days today, but clouds around. And for now, we'll leave the rain risk out. Some of the guidance trying to suggest now maybe a shower, but I'm going to go optimistic. Clouds and some sun, 77. Tonight, 57. Tomorrow, sunny, 78. Tomorrow night in the mid-50s with some upper 40s in our cooler spots. Late Saturday, maybe a shower thunderstorm, high 80. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip per 2-pack, 2 dips per 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last.
Don't miss Zero-Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's incredible fall sale. Call now and mention ESPN Asheville to get 3 rooms cleaned for $129. Or schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com. That's ZeroResAsheville.com.
The 15th Rock the Quarry Trail Challenge 5K and Kids Fun Run will take place on Saturday, September the 16th. This year's race helps to celebrate the Black Mountain Home for Children's 100-year anniversary. The 5K course will run through the beautiful campus of the Children's Home, and there's cash prizes on hand as well. Proceeds benefit the Black Mountain Home for Children and the Asheville Museum of Science. For more information and to get signed up, go to raceroster.com and search Rock the Quarry Trail Challenge. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app?
Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts. Free playlists.
Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations.
It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com. The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays. And it's that time, ladies and gentlemen, the most important message you will hear today.
Don't do crimes!
And let's go over to Scotland. Scotland always has the best bar brawls, right? I mean, as somebody who has a Scottish heritage, I mean, it's kind of built into what we do. Now, it went out of my gene pool because I'm not a heavy drinker by any means. I am the same guy that once said goodbye to Jeremy's bathroom floor.
Correct.
After trying to drink with his wife. My
wife put you under the table.
I believe she's done the same to you before, hasn't she?
Never to me, but I've seen her do it to other people.
There you go. A drunk Scot left revelers terrified when he got into an argument that escalated outside of a nightclub in Edinburgh. So he was outside this Cabaret Voltaire. It was 2:00 in the morning, and he got into a fight into an argument outside the club with somebody. Apparently, so his name is Joshua Tidswell, and Joshua is a construction worker. He had apparently gone out with his buddies that night. He had the work truck with him, and some of the tools had gone missing out of the back of his truck because obviously, yes, that's what's going to happen when you leave tools in the back of a pickup truck, just out in the open. Well, he got upset, and some guy said something smart about the tools being missing, and so he decided to pick up the nearest weapon and go after the man. It was a circular saw. He went after the guy with a circular saw.
That's a bold strategy.
Now, here's the part that I don't understand.
That's not a very mobile weapon.
I could understand if you're just in the act or something, and you're standing next to the truck, you just grab the first thing you can to kind of hit him with it. Well, the police say that it was operational at the time. So what is it battery powered? I would guess, or did he find an outlet somewhere, turn the saw on, and then try to hit the guy with it? He is facing assault charges, obviously, for trying to hit a guy with an operational saw in the head. That should be an attempted murder charge, in my opinion, but apparently he only got hit with assault on that one. That is probably the most terrifying thing I could think of coming out of a bar. Just seeing some drunk guy with a circular saw just cranking it up. Not me.
Oh, so
I'm going the other way.
So your biggest fear is me going full chainsaw Charlie outside of a bar?
100%.
That's probably not a bad thing to be terrified of. My story is not technically a crime, but this has been a trending story. Thank you for blaring that in my ears. That was awesome. My story is about country sensation Oliver Anthony. He was going to play a show at the Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville. And then they did what I consider to be crimes.
Okay.
So one of the things a lot of people don't know about me is that I have booked 4 bars in the past. So I have a pretty good understanding of what things cost. So there's been some disagreement over the last couple of days about what Oliver Anthony's price was to do this show. There's been some Facebook things. There's been a lot of misinformation because people get way too much of their news from Facebook. And at some point, Cotton Eye Joe put out and then requisitely deleted a post saying that he wanted $120,000 to play their bar. I told Tank yesterday when that story came out, that is nonsense because nobody with an IQ above salad dressing would ask a place that size for that much money. You're already on the wrong side of me because you're lying and I know it. Then things unravel. He comes out and has to do an Instagram Live apologizing because the ticket prices at Cotton Eye Joe's were $100 a piece. This is all on the bar. It's not on Oliver Anthony. I have no dog in this fight because, I like that song the guy did, but would I pay $100 to go see him? No, I wouldn't pay $40 to go see him. I don't like crowds. I have YouTube. I can listen to your music anytime I want to. Don't need to hear you do it live. But it is really unfortunate that they would attack this guy's character with what basically equates to lies. Unless you can prove to me by showing me a contract that he signed that he asked for that amount of money, you're not telling the truth.
No.
Because that's insane. He then came out and said he's never made more than $35,000 for a show in his life, and he's done 2 shows for free.
I was going to say I'd be shocked if he's made that much.
You got to understand the last few weeks he has become reasonably popular.
I didn't think he did any shows though.
He's done a handful. He's got another one scheduled for like a week from now. It's a cancer benefit. The dude's not looking to get rich,
right?
And is now actively looking for places to play.
That's the thing that ticked me off the most about this was that if this was true, and you're telling us it's not, and I will trust your judgment in that because you have more knowledge about the business than I do. But if that was the case, then holy cow, the guy who, has apparently turned down all the record deals and all of the big time events that he could be doing because I don't want to be that guy. It took you 3 weeks. It took you 3 weeks to become the guy that's going to go, I'm going to charge every bar $100,000 for this show.
Well, just the whole story didn't make sense. And then when he came out and said what he said, it made it really easy for me to understand. And look, I don't fault you for capitalism. Where the big mistake was here, he's apparently using a plumber to do his bookings. The third question you should ask is, what are these tickets going to sell for? Because if you don't ask, they can price them wherever they want to. And then they get into defense mode of, no, it was him asking for a ton of money. No, he wasn't. I can't tell you how much he was asking for, but I can tell you the math don't math on your number compared to what you said and then the fact you immediately deleted it. That's where I go, no, there's something here where you're being disingenuous. I don't know exactly what it is, but there was $120,000 never on the table.
Yep.
And this guy's just trying to do his thing. He's capitalizing on some fame, but not to that degree.
Right.
He also said he was mad they were charging more for a meet and greet. As soon as I heard the term meet and greet, I went, yep, been there before. I've played this game. I know exactly where this goes.
Yeah, because it was like $200+ for meet and greet VIP tickets or something.
I will wager that the booker probably never at any point said anything about he probably agreed to a meet and greet, but didn't ask if you didn't ask the price of the tickets, then you wouldn't ask how much the meet and greet cost.
Exactly.
So they're seeing, we can take advantage of. And I'm not judging you here. I'm not trying to throw Cotton Eye Joe's under the bus. It's just this is how this goes in this industry. You find somebody that's going to sell out, and you try to make every penny of it.
Absolutely.
Because these places will get annihilated on some of these shows. You bring in an act and it doesn't sell. Guess who's eating the cost there?
I think back to
that's capitalism. So I don't want this to be misconstrued as I'm throwing Cotton Eye Joe's under the bus. There are venues all over the country that are doing this. Where you messed up was that you tried to throw him under it.
Yeah.
He came out swinging, and now your story doesn't make any sense. You could have just severed the tie here, said, that didn't work out, and away you go. But that's not what you did.
Yep. And I always think it's kind of humorous when businesses do the things like this to hurt their image with their own crowd. Why would you do that? Like right now, he is the hottest thing in country music, right?
He's up there. I won't say the hottest.
Right.
From where you started to where you are now, then I could agree with that.
But I mean, what I'm saying is, like, he is the story of the moment right now. I mean, he may not be, Luke Combs level at this point, and he's not, but he's the biggest story going right now. And everybody that comes to your little line dancing bar, they're probably going to be pissed off when they find out what you just did. Like, if this comes out that, yes, you were lying and you were trying to destroy a guy.
And it depends on how far these two choose to go.
It could hurt you.
Because, I mean, here's the thing. If you've gotten to the point where you were putting out tickets, which means somebody has signed something somewhere. So if you had, and behind closed doors, you wouldn't offer tickets to a show you didn't know were going to happen. Because you get into all kinds of legal qualms with that you didn't have pen to paper and you didn't dot all your I's and cross your T's. If the show gets canceled, that's one thing. That's in the fine print. The fact that you offered the tickets, that means somebody signed something somewhere, and that means somebody's probably got a copy of that somewhere. And all they've got to do is post that on social media, and we'll be able to, where the rubber meets the road, figure out who's telling the truth.
Yep. We've got Thursday night football tonight, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. Earlier today, the news came out that the Eagles will be without 3 players in tonight's game. Kenny Gainwell will be out. James Bradbury as well. Reed Blankenship, the safety, or one of the safeties for Philadelphia, also going to be missing the game. We went over the game at the beginning of the show. Those injuries, I don't think, are going to play huge roles into tonight's game because it's just that lopsided.
No, to me, this is a significantly lesser Minnesota Vikings team than what you got a year ago. You got primetime Kirk Cousins. Until you prove me wrong, I'm just going to keep saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I look for this to be a game that Philadelphia keeps at arm's length the entire night. Minnesota doesn't have the guys in the back half to keep Jalen Hurts from getting anything he wants. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith should both have big games. I'm not worried about the running backs. I would say DeAndre Swift probably is more involved tonight, but this also sets up as one of those, hey, look, Boston Scott randomly got 14 carries. Because for whatever reason, every Philadelphia coach for the last 5 years has trusted him immensely.
Mm-hmm. Injuries that could hurt a team coming up this weekend. Also announced today, the Seattle Seahawks, both their tackles, out for this week. In fact, Abraham Lucas, he's gone in on injured reserve now. He had a sore right knee that bothered him in training camp, and he was sidelined in the second half of the season opener against the L.A. Rams. Pete Carroll, speaking to reporters before the team announced the move, said both Lucas and left tackle Charles Cross were hurting, and then it would be a challenge for either to play on Sunday. But then immediately they went and put Abraham Lucas on IR, which means he's going to be out at least 4 weeks. And then Charles Cross was ruled out of this weekend's game.
And that means you get Stone Forsythe and Jake Curran
against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, because they have that guy, Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how I said this had draft game written all over it?
Mm-hmm.
I lied. Yeah, I was drunk at the time.
When you don't have your tackles and you're facing the kneecap chewers, it's not going to be a good recipe. Devin Witherspoon may be back though, so at least there's that. You'll have your full complement of corners to play in this game, but I don't like that to go well.
No, I don't either.
For Seattle.
No, that was that could have been a get right game, but without your tackles, that's not a team you want to be limping in against, especially with them riding high coming off Kansas City, and this is the home opener. Buzz saw.
We do have the Bengals and the Ravens this weekend. I think that's my favorite matchup of the week.
Your favorite?
I think so. And I know there's another game that's a replay from a playoff game last
Chiefs Jaguars. That's the right call.
Yeah.
I mean, those to me are 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty high on Browns Steelers. Be interested to see Dolphins Patriots.
Mm-hmm. I'm really interested to see how Joe's going to bounce back after last week. Is it going to be still rocky, or will they have been able to clean up everything in 1 week?
I mean, I highly doubt you will have cleaned up everything, but they should look more impressive. Vegas is not overly worried. Cincinnati's 3.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That hook is always a really good indicator of where Vegas's brain is at because the field goal can burn you.
Yep.
So that means Vegas is leaning on we have less liability getting away from that, which means they're pretty heavy on Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I said in the preseason, there's a great chance that these AFC North teams just split everything at home because they're all so close. And, yes, I still feel that way with Pittsburgh, even though it was – I'm not as confident of that as I was a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not just going to toss out everything I said in the preseason because of one really bad game.
Right.
So would it shock me if Pittsburgh and Cincinnati found a way to win this week? Nope. Because the two home teams both have a lot more riding on this than the two away teams do.
Oh, that Steelers-Browns game is going to be nice. And I didn't even realize this until like yesterday. The Panthers are on Monday Night Football this week.
Yeah, we're playing 2 Monday night games this Monday.
Against the New Orleans Saints. 7:15 kickoff for the Saints and the Panthers, and then you get the real game at 8:15.
Which I greatly appreciate. Mitigate those Sunday day games down to the 10, 11, 12. That's a lot better than 14. That was what we had last week.
Mm-hmm.
Including the Sunday night game.
Too much for you to keep up with?
No, there's a lot of post-production that goes into this, and that's a lot of bangers. That's a lot of Jeremy yelling. That's a lot of blood pressure that's way higher than it should be. A lot of glasses of water to cool things back down.
Right.
I need to be able to space this out.
Speaking of bangers, Jeremy's going to have his bangers, all of them, coming up for you tomorrow on a Football Friday here in the Sportsocracy. He always has to dig deep to find some real underdogs that he likes. Last week was hard.
Last week was hard. This week's harder for dogs because you just got so many of these brutal matchups, and I don't like the points. Yeah, if I was just picking winners, this wouldn't be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start factoring in point spreads, and it gets way more difficult.
Yep.
Finding road dogs this week has been tough. Resisting the urge to lay 3 touchdowns in 8 of my 16 picks has also been really difficult. Although I'm doing it in a few of them.
Yeah. You taking Georgia to cover 27.5 against South Carolina? Maybe. Will that be one?
Might not. I have a feeling that game's one of the picks, though.
Oh.
Just not going to tell you which side of it I'm on.
Okay, so you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer. If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Live September 27th at Rabbit.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Are you ready? See Foo Fighters, Kelly Clarkson, Tim McGraw, and many more. Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
All across the Tar Heel State, this is Carolina football.
Stepping through a tackle and stepping to the end zone. It is pouring points in Chapel Hill. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win.
The Heels clash with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30, kickoff at 3:30, right here on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cott?
Back in the Sportsocracy, once again, I want to issue a congratulations to Jack, who ended up getting our tickets to go see the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the North Carolina Tar Heels at Chapel Hill this weekend. You can tune in to Tar Heel football all season long right here on ESPN Asheville. Yep, you should probably want to make it a point, Tar Heel fans. Jones Angel every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock right here in the Sportsocracy. And you never know. We'll have tickets to a home game to give away. Jeremy, how bad does it have to be when the opponent has to call you out for not protecting your quarterback better? It was that bad for the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football this past week after the game. I guess this was Tuesday, or it might have been yesterday. Micah Parsons on The Edge with Micah Parsons, his podcast, was just railing against the New York Giants about leaving Daniel Jones on the field when the game's completely out of hand and they are just matering him left and right. He came out and blasted the New York Giants for not taking him out of the game.
A little factoid that has been spreading around the interwebs. No NFL team has ever lost 40-0 or worse, lost the sack battle 7-0 or worse, lost the turnover battle 3-0 or worse, had a blocked field goal return for a touchdown, and thrown a pick six in the same season. The New York Giants did it all in the same game. That is a next level side of roof. Now, here's what I'll say to Micah Parsons. He's saying that they should have protected him. It's not that they didn't try. They just didn't have the ability. That would be like looking at a fat kid that is just, wrist deep in a chocolate cake and going, you should really not have eaten that. Well, okay, willpower is not my thing. I was that kid. So before I get any letters, all right, it's near and dear to my heart.
I do want to point out also, though, in that same podcast, Micah Parsons, he had a bold statement about a guy that you've criticized left and right every chance you get.
And who was that?
Brock Purdy. He says Brock Purdy is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. And I don't know that he's wrong. I really don't know that he's wrong.
And he's a top 15 quarterback in the league.
Quarterback. That would put him on that level with Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr and just the average guys.
Yeah, I'm going to say you're too high. I'm going to say you put Brock Purdy on the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud on the San Francisco 49ers, and all of a sudden we're going to have a real different conversation.
You think C.J. might look that good?
Not that good yet, but he would in time.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy's fine. He's nothing special to me.
All right. The Brock Purdy hate train will continue tomorrow here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It'll be finally a
Football Friday.
That's right. All your favorite segments, Beat the Chief, and all of the gambling picks coming your way tomorrow back here on ESPN Asheville at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, looking good as we head through the next couple of days. Comfortable air in place. Not the sunniest of days today, but clouds around. And for now, we'll leave the rain risk out. Some of the guidance trying to suggest now maybe a shower, but I'm going to go optimistic. Clouds with some sun, 77. Tonight, 57. Tomorrow, sunny, 78. Tomorrow night in the mid-50s with some upper 40s in our cooler spots. Late Saturday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 80. For the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.